the objectives of the program which you are at present attending. Basically, this is a NEP orientation and sensitization program. That means through this program, we will try to understand basic ideas related to national education policy. What national education policy is, how it is to be implemented, how effective it can be implemented by all of us, what efforts we have to make to implement that. One of the very important aspect of this is Indian knowledge system. Respected colleagues, esteemed scholars, and fellow educators, it is both an honor and privilege to address you today on a subject that lies at the very heart of our intellectual and cultural heritage, the Indian knowledge system, Bharatiya Gnana Parampara. As Professor deeply engaged in the study of the dissemination of Indian knowledge system, I find this opportunity to share insights with you, not only academically enriching, but also spiritually fulfilling. The Indian knowledge system is not merely a collection of ancient texts or practices. It is a living, breathing tradition that continues to shape our understanding of the world and our place within it. I shall try to explore few ideas which will help us to understand its interdisciplinary nature, its profound role in understanding Indian culture and heritage. We shall dwell into its philosophical foundations, scientific contributions, educational paradigms, and cultural expressions. Just 1 minute. Regarding love. Aktualon ત્યારે એવું થાય. જોઈ લો ચાલે એવું હોય તો નહીંતર કાઢી લાવ ફરીથી બીજું કાગળ. We shall dwell into its philosophical foundations, scientific contributions, educational paradigms, and cultural expressions, supported by citations from both Sanskrit and English sources, along with relevant examples and case studies. The Indian knowledge system, Bharatiya Gnana Parampara, refers to the holistic and interdisciplinary body of knowledge developed in the Indian subcontinent over millennia. It encompasses diverse domains such as philosophy. Just 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. अभी तुम्हारा lecture चालू थे. है बेटा? है ना? मैंने डाउट था तो न्यूमोनिया. हम्म हम्म हम्म. એક વાર જઈ આવો ને ત્યાં મને જાઉં છે. મને ડાઉટ હતો જ મને એટલે કીધું તો સારું. It encompasses diverse domains such as philosophy, science, mathematics, medicine, art, architecture, literature, ethics, and spirituality. Rooted in ancient texts like the Veda, Upanishad, Purana, and epics such as Ramayana and Mahabharata, IKS integrates empirical observations with metaphysical inquiry. The Sanskrit term Vidya encapsulates the essence of knowledge in Indian knowledge system. Not just information, but wisdom that leads to liberation, that is moksha. As the Rig Veda states, Ta Vidyaya Vimuktaya, the knowledge is that which liberates. This liberation is not merely spiritual, but intellectual and ethical, guiding individuals towards a harmonious existence. Indian knowledge system is significant because it offers a comprehensive worldview. What does not compartmentalize disciplines? It recognizes the interconnectedness of all forms of knowledge and emphasizes the unity of the cosmos, the self, and the society that integrate the approach which is increasingly relevant in today's fragmented academic landscape. Understanding Indian knowledge system is essential for appreciating the depth and diversity of Indian civilization. It provides the intellectual framework for cultural practices, ethical norms, artistic expressions, and societal structures. Let us examine a very important areas and factors which plays very important role in understanding Indian knowledge system. The philosophical foundations. Indian philosophy, as articulated in Upanishad, explore profound concepts such as Brahma, the ultimate reality, Atma, that is self, Karma, that is action, and Dharma, that is righteous duty. These ideas form the ethical and metaphysical backbone of Indian culture. The Bhagavad Gita, for instance, presents a synthesis of various philosophical schools and remains a guide for personal and societal conduct. English philosopher Aldous Huxley noted that the university and universality of Indian metaphysics in his perennial philosophy, acknowledging the Upanishadic vision of unity as cornerstone of global spiritual thought. Indian knowledge system includes remarkable achievements in science and mathematics. Aryabhatta's astronomical treatise, Bhaskara's calculus-like methods, and the invention of zero and the decimal system are well documented. The Sulabh Sutra demonstrates geometric precision in temple construction, reflecting the integration of mathematics and spirituality. The Jantar Mantar observatories built by Maharaja Jai Singh second in 18th century exemplify the application of traditional astronomical by the traditional astronomical knowledge in urban architecture. Then next is Ayurveda. Ayurveda, the ancient Indian system of medicine, emphasizes balance among જોઈ લો થાય છે 15 વાળાનું shift કરવા છે among body, mind, and spirit. Texts like Charak Samhita, Sushrut Samhita provide detailed insights into diagnostic surgery and pharmacology. The concept of dinacharya, that is daily routine, and ritucharya, seasonal regime. Just give me a minute. So, this system which we are talking about is the Ayurveda. It has the concept of dincharya, that is daily routine, and ritucharya, that is seasonal regimes. They promote preventive healthcare. The use of turmeric in Ayurveda and Ayurveda formulations has gained global recognition for its anti-inflammatory properties. The education and the Gurukula system. Gurukul system emphasizes holistic education, character development, and oral transmission of knowledge. Students lived with their teachers, imbibing values and learning through dialogue and practice in Gurukul. Ancient universities like Nalanda and Takshashila were centers of multidisciplinary learning, attracting scholars from across Asia. Uh, it is said about Gurukula that Acharyad Pad Madate Padam Shishya Swamedaya. Acharyad Pad Madate Padam Shishya Swamedaya. Padam Sabrahmacharibhyam. Padam Kala Kramena Cha. A student learns quarter from the teacher, quarter from self-study, and quarter from peers, and the last quarter from the time, that is over time. Art, architecture, and literature. Indian art and architecture are deeply symbolic and spiritually inspired. Temples are designed as cosmic diagrams, that is mandals, and classical dance forms like Bharatanatyam narrate mythological stories through movement and expression. Literature such as Kalidasa Shakuntala and epic and the epics convey ethical and cultural values. The Konark Sun Temple in Odisha is a marvel of architecture and architectural symbolism. Represents the chariot of sun god, which integrate carvings and astronomical alignment. Indian knowledge system promotes harmony with nature through practices like sacred groves, water conservation, and organic farming. The Atharva Veda contains the Atharva Veda contains ruchas that celebrate the earth as a mother and advocate ecological balance. The concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the world is one family, encourages global environmental stewardship, global influences and contemporary relevance. Indian knowledge system has influenced global thought in areas such as mathematics, medicine, and philosophy. Its principles are increasingly being integrated into modern education, wellness, and sustainability initiatives. Yoga, rooted in Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, is now practiced worldwide for physical and mental well being. UNESCO has recognized the yoga as an intangible cultural heritage of humanity. The Indian knowledge system is not a relic of the past, but a dynamic and evolving tradition that continues to illuminate our understanding of life, society, and cosmos. It integrates and its integrative approach, ethical depth, and spiritual insight offer valuable lessons from contemporary challenges in education, health, environment, and global harmony. As educators and scholars, it is our responsibility to preserve, promote, and integrate Indian knowledge system into our academic and cultural discourse. Let us draw inspiration from our rich heritage and contribute to a future that honors wisdom, fosters innovation, and nurtures humanity. Dharmo rakshati rakshitaha. Dharma protects those who uphold it. Maybe uphold the dharma of knowledge and pass it on to our future generations. I thought to begin it with this very small introduction to our topic. Now, friends, I would like to take you further to the discussion of Indian knowledge system. I understand that I'll try to keep it in both the languages, English and Hindi, so that will be more convenient to many participants. Let us try to have a look at it in English and Hindi. भारतीय ज्ञान परंपरा में ज्ञान का विशाल भंडार शामिल है जो भारतवर्ष में सहस्त्राब्दियों में विकसित हुआ है। यह प्रणाली दर्शन, विज्ञान, कला, चिकित्सा और आध्यात्मिकता जैसे विविध क्षेत्रों को एकीकृत करती है, जो प्राचीन भारतीय विचार की समग्र और अंतः विषय प्रकृति को दर्शाती है। सनातन शब्द इस ज्ञान के शाश्वत और कालातीत सार को दर्शाता है जो पीढ़ियों से चला आ रहा है, जो भारतीय संस्कृति और बौद्धिक परंपराओं को लगातार समृद्ध करता रहता है। भारतीय ज्ञान परंपरा का महत्व जीवन और ब्रह्मांड को समझने के लिए इससे व्यापक दृष्टिकोण में निहित है। कई समकालीन प्रणालियों के विपरीत जो ज्ञान को अलग अलग विषय में विभाजित करते हैं, भारतीय ज्ञान परंपरा विभिन्न डोमेन को आपस में जोड़ता है, वास्तविकता की एक एकीकृत दृष्टि प्रस्तुत करता है। यह एकीकृत दृष्टि वेद और उपनिषद जैसे ग्रंथों में स्पष्ट है, जहां दार्शनिक पूछताछ, वैज्ञानिक अवलोकन और आध्यात्मिक अंतर्दृष्टि सहजता से सह अस्तित्व में है। This integrative perspective is evident in the texts like Veda and Upanishad, where philosophical inquiries, scientific observations, and spiritual insights, they all coexist. Understanding Indian knowledge system is crucial for comprehending the depth and richness of Indian culture and heritage. The Indian knowledge system is not just an academic construct, but a living tradition that has profoundly shaped the social, cultural, and spiritual fabric of Indian society. भारतीय संस्कृति और विरासत की गहराई और समृद्धि को समझने के लिए भारतीय ज्ञान परंपरा को समझना महत्वपूर्ण है। भारतीय ज्ञान प्रणाली केवल एक अकादमिक निर्माण नहीं है, बल्कि एक जीवित परंपरा है जिसने भारतीय समाज के सामाजिक, सांस्कृतिक और आध्यात्मिक ताने बानों को गहराई से आकार दिया है। समझते हैं वैदिक साहित्य को। द वेद comprising of Rigveda, Samveda, Yajurveda, and Atharvaveda are among the oldest sacred texts in the world. These texts provide insights into the early Indian worldview, encompassing cosmology, rituals, ethical and social organization. The Rig Veda, for instance, contains ruchas that address various deities and natural forces, reflecting a profound reverence for natural world. This reverence is not just a religious sentiment, but a cultural ethos that has influenced environmental conservation practices in India. Rigveda, सामवेद, यजुर्वेद और अथर्ववेद से युक्त ये जो वेद है वो दुनिया के सबसे पुराने और पवित्र ग्रंथों में से एक है। ये ग्रंथ प्रारंभिक भारतीय विश्व दृष्टि में अंतर्दृष्टि प्रदान करते हैं, जिसमें ब्रह्मांड, विज्ञान, अनुष्ठान, नैतिकता और सामाजिक संगठन शामिल है। उदाहरण के लिए ऋग्वेद में ऐसे ऋचा शामिल है जो विभिन्न देवताओं और प्राकृतिक शक्तियों को संबोधित करते हैं, जो प्रकृति के प्रति गहरी श्रद्धा को दर्शाते हैं। यह श्रद्धा केवल एक धार्मिक भावना नहीं है, बल्कि एक सांस्कृतिक लोकाचार है जिसने भारत में पर्यावरण संरक्षण की प्रथाओं को प्रभावित किया है। Let us try to have a look at philosophical foundations. The Upanishads, a collection of philosophical texts, dwell into profound metaphysical question about nature of reality, the self, and the universe. Okay? Okay? દવાઓ ખાલી અત્યારે લાવેલી છે કારણ એ જ લઈ લેજો, એવી જરૂર નહીં પડે। એવી કઈ જરૂર નહીં પડે, બરાબર? કારણ કે પછી કદાચ મોડું થાય, મારે આવવાનું મોડું થાય તો પછી વ્યાખ્યાન કેવી રીતે કરશે? ये जरूर नहीं पढ़ा। चालीस उपनिषद दार्शनिक ग्रंथों का एक संग्रह है। वास्तविकता, स्वयं और ब्रह्मांड की प्रकृति के बारे में गहन आध्यात्मिक प्रश्नों पर प्रकाश डालता है। ब्रह्म, परम तत्व और आत्मा जैसी अवधारणाएं भारतीय दार्शनिक विचार के केंद्र में है, और उन्होंने कला, साहित्य और आध्यात्मिक कला, साहित्य और आध्यात्मिक तरीकों से भारतीय संस्कृति के विभिन्न पहलू को प्रभावित किया है। उदाहरण के लिए, विविधता में एकता का सिद्धांत, जो अभी अस्तित्व की एकता के विचार से व्युत्पन्न है, भारतीय सांस्कृतिक पहचान का एक केंद्र भी है। दैट इज व्हाट वी ऑल नो। द कॉन्सेप्ट सच एज ब्रह्म एंड आत्मा आर सेलेस्टियल टू इंडियन philosophical thoughts, and they have influenced the various aspects of Indian culture, including art, literature, and spirituality. For example, the principles of unity in diversity derived from the idea of oneness of all existence is central subject of Indian cultural identity. Scientific achievements. Ancient Indian sciences, particularly in the field of astronomy, mathematics, and medicine, have made significant contributions to global knowledge. भारतीय प्राचीन भारतीय विज्ञान की अगर बात करें, तो विशेष रूप से खगोल विज्ञान, गणित और चिकित्सा के क्षेत्र में वैश्विक ज्ञान में महत्वपूर्ण योगदान दिया है। Aryabhatiya introduced the concept of zero and discussed the Earth's rotation, while Sushrut Samhita laid the foundation of surgery. आर्यभट्टिया ने शून्य की अवधारणा को पेश किया है और पृथ्वी के घूर्णन पर चर्चा की है, जबकि सुश्रुत संहिता ने सर्जरी की नींव रखी है। The scientific advancements are not isolated achievements, but are embodied in broader cultural context, reflecting the Indian tradition of holistic inquiry and innovation. ये वैज्ञानिक प्रगति अलग थलग उपलब्धियां नहीं है, बल्कि व्यापक सांस्कृतिक संदर्भ में अंतर्निहित है, जो समग्र जांच और नवाचार की भारतीय परंपरा को दर्शाते हैं। Now let us try to have a look at Ayurveda. The ancient Indian system of medicine emphasizes the balance between the body, mind, and spirit. This holistic approach to health and wellness is not only a medical practice, but also a cultural heritage that informs daily life, dietary habits, and wellness practices in India. आयुर्वेद चिकित्सा की प्राचीन भारतीय प्रणाली शरीर, मन और आत्मा के बीच संतुलन पर जोर देती है। स्वास्थ्य और कल्याण के लिए यह समग्र दृष्टिकोण न केवल एक चिकित्सा पद्धति है, बल्कि एक सांस्कृतिक विरासत भी है, जो भारत में दैनिक जीवन, आहार संबंधी आदतों और कल्याण प्रथाओं को सूचित करती है। For example, the use of natural herbs and dietary regulations in Ayurveda is mirrored in Indian culinary traditions, highlighting the integration of health and lifestyle. उदाहरण के लिए, आयुर्वेद में प्राकृतिक जड़ी बूटियों को आहार नियमों का उपयोग भारतीय पाक परंपराओं में प्रतिबंधित होता है, जो स्वास्थ्य और जीवन शैली के एकीकरण पर प्रकाश डालता है। The practices of yoga and meditation, rooted in ancient Indian spirituality, have gained global recognition for their benefits to physical, mental, and spiritual health. प्राचीन भारतीय आध्यात्मिकता में निहित योग और ध्यान की प्रथाओं ने शारीरिक, मानसिक और आध्यात्मिक स्वास्थ्य के लिए उनके लाभों के लिए वैश्विक मान्यता प्राप्त की है। The Yoga Sutra of Patanjali, a key text on yoga, outline the eightfold path, Ashtanga Yoga, that includes, we can say, that includes ethical precepts, physical postures, breath control, and meditation. पतंजलि के योग सूत्र योग पर एक प्रमुख ग्रंथ है। अष्टांगिक मार्ग यानी अष्टांग योग की रूपरेखा तैयार करता है, जिसमें नैतिक उपदेश, शारीरिक मुद्राएं, सांस नियंत्रण और ध्यान भी शामिल है। ये प्रथाएं भारतीय संस्कृति का अभिन्न अंग है और दैनिक दिनचर्या से लेकर अंतरराष्ट्रीय योग त्योहारों तक विभिन्न रूपों में ये मनाई जाती है। The practices are integral to Indian culture and are celebrated in various forms, from daily routine to international yoga festival. The Indian knowledge system is a testament to the profound intellectual and cultural achievements of ancient India. भारतीय प्राचीन भारतीय जो प्रणाली है, भारतीय ज्ञान परंपराएं जो है, वो भारत की गहन बौद्धिक और सांस्कृतिक उपलब्धियों का एक प्रमाण है। By integrating diverse fields of knowledge, Indian knowledge system offers a holistic perspective essential to understanding the rich embroidery of Indian culture and heritage. भारतीय ज्ञान परंपरा एक समग्र परिप्रेक्ष्य प्रदान करता है, तो भारतीय संस्कृति और विरासत की समृद्धि और ये जो समृद्ध कढ़ाई है उसको समझने के लिए आवश्यक है। इस प्रणाली की सराहना न केवल भारत के अतीत का सम्मान करती है, बल्कि समग्र और एकीकृत तरीके से समकालीन चुनौतियों का समाधान करने के लिए मूल्यवान अंतर्दृष्टि भी प्रदान करती है। That means appreciating this system not only honors India's past, but also provides valuable insights for addressing contemporary challenges and integratively. This all happens very much integratively. That is something beautiful and that is very important to understand about this. So friends, this when we look at this, it really helps us to understand what we are. हम क्या हैं, हम कहाँ हैं, उसको समझने में हमारे लिए बहुत ही उपयोगी ये रहता है और इसको हमें समझने की कोशिश भी करनी चाहिए। भारत की जो ये लिगेसी है, यानी भारत में जो ये सालों से चली आ रही ये जो रूढ़ी है, ये जो प्रणाली है, उसको अगर हम देखने की कोशिश करें, उसके बारे में जब हम बात करें, तब हमें पता चलता है कि भारत कितना किस तरीके से भारत को समझना चाहिए। और जस्ट 1 मिनट, जस्ट गिव मी 1 मिनट। हाँ, और भारत में क्या क्या विविधताएं हैं और उन विविधताओं में क्या हमें समझने की कोशिश करनी चाहिए। फ्रेंड्स, इन द मॉर्निंग व्हेन आई वाज इंट्रोड्यूस्ड, the person who introduced me, professor, talked about the part of Indian knowledge system of Government of India. Ministry of Education, Government of India has prepared one very, I would like to say, just 1 minute. The Government of India has one department called Indian Knowledge System under Ministry of Education. Ministry of Education के अंतर्गत एक विभाग है जिसका नाम अब इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम है। उन्होंने भारतीय ज्ञान परंपरा के बारे में डिस्कवर द लर्निंग ट्रेडिशंस ऑफ भारत करके एक बहुत अच्छा वीडियो डेवलप किया है। उसको हम देखने की कोशिश करते हैं, जो हमें भारतीय ज्ञान परंपरा के बारे में बहुत ही अच्छी तरीके से ज्ञान वर्धन करने में हमें मदद रूप होगा। तो उसको देखते हैं और समझते हैं। ये बहुत ही म्यूजिकल और बहुत ही पिक्चरस्क प्रकार से बनाया गया वीडियो है, जिसको इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एजुकेशन ने बनाया।
Most stories are about lost civilizations. This is about a living one. For millions of years, mankind took birth and life for granted, going through the motions of survival. But somewhere, profound insights regarding the nature of our existence dawned upon an ancient people, the people of India. As civilizational wisdom expanded, learning itself became a sophisticated tradition for the Hindus. Continuous knowledge transmissions meant that the most sublime heights of civilizational development were achieved and refined by successive generations. But slowly, the times changed. Not just for India, but for the world. Today we find ourselves tangled in the web of environmental disasters, pandemics, and rapidly changing technology. If we do not intervene, perhaps future generations will inherit a different earth. I embark on a mission to search for the answers to these questions. This journey takes me to the heartland of the world's oldest living civilization. The rolling hills and lush green fields of southern India that hold countless civilizational secrets. A meeting of great significance is about to take place in Thanjavur, the cultural seat of the great Chola Empire. In the giant shadow of Brihadeshwar, I am joined by Professor Mahadevan from IIM Bangalore. Professor Mahadevan has devoted his life to exploring the vast canvas of Indian knowledge systems.
As you see, Indian knowledge system has three words there: Indian, knowledge, and system. So each one of them has some meaning. Therefore, Indian essentially means the Akhanda Bharat, which means somewhere from Afghanistan up to, I would say, Burma and even beyond that. So that's the Indian part of it. Knowledge is both formal and informal, or literary and non-literary, if you want it that way. So we are sitting in a very beautiful temple complex here. Yes, so this temple is about 1,000 years old. There's a whole gamut of know-how or knowledge which is required to putting up this structure, which should remain also intact for 1,000 years. You need to know how to put the structure, layout and planning, what kind of logistics. There's so much of granite being used. There isn't granite around. So we don't know how they brought so much of volumes of granite here. So in modern terms, logistics and supply chain management, if I have to call it, applied things like mathematics, astronomy, town planning and architecture, metalworking, we have been wonderful. There is a culmination of a number of ideas that the know-how which went behind all these, we can call it as system. So that way we can call it as Indian knowledge system, which is in practice, which is in use.
சிற்ப சாஸ்திரத்துல தசதாள பிரமாணம்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. உத்தம தசதாளம், மத்தியம தசதாளம், அதம தசதாளம். அந்த தாள பிரமாணங்கள்ல தான் நான் அளவுகளை நியமிச்சு முகம் இவ்வளவு, கழுத்து இவ்வளவு, மார்பு இவ்வளவு, நெஞ்சு இவ்வளவுங்கிறத ஒரு பிரதானமா சிற்பக்கலையில அதை சொல்லிதான் நாங்கள் அமைக்கிறோம். அந்த பிரதான மூல ஆதாரமான அந்த தசதாள பிரமாணத்துல முழுமையா அளவு பிரமாணத்தோட அமைஞ்ச ஒரு சிற்பம் தான் சோழர் கால சிற்பக்கலை. அதனாலதான் மற்ற சிற்பத்தை விட சோழர் கால சிற்பம் அளவுலையும் அழகுலையும் மிக நேர்த்தியா இருக்கிறதாலதான் இந்த உலக அளவுல சோழர் கால சிற்பக்கலை இந்த அளவுக்கு உலக புகழ் பெற்றது.
பிரிய
On the banks of river Neela, nested within nature's bosom, is Kerala Ayurveda Samajam. Established in 1902 by the Zamorin of Calicut, the Samajam continues to preserve the ancient Indian knowledge system of Ayurveda in its pristine form.
What a beautiful campus you have. It's in the middle of the nature. So how many types of herbs you must be having here?
Maybe 1,000, more than 1,000.
Tell us about the great tradition of Natya Shastra.
Natya Shastra is not only a text for dance or music, it is a text for Shilpa, Kavya, Chitra, and many other kind of art forms. Without the element of dance, the knowledge of sculptor is incomplete. Without the element of the music, the knowledge of dance is incomplete. So all the art forms is closely attached to each other. In the Agama Vidhis, the Nritya Gita is also a part. So our ancestors, our rulers, kings gave importance to dance and music in the temple.
So there was a beautiful, you can say, combination of, art, literature, divinity, spirituality, dharma.
Art is a form of worship, and also worshipping through the art is itself offering to the God.
Oh, that's beautiful. Very well said, The art is worship, and worship is art. Oh, wow.
Samananam Kaja Kutila Sundara Tilaka Brura Kamayanka Samananam Apaharana Tulasi Das Satrasa Vihara Vrinda Kananam
The more I become aware of the knowledge systems of India, I get convinced that all these paramparas are unified by a common thread. The entire culture is drenched in reverence for the sacred. But this uniqueness is most vivid in India's scientific traditions. To get a taste of it, I had to Nalakuda, the seat of Kerala School of Mathematics, to the home of Madhav, its founder.
When you add 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus etc. up to infinity, then it's some Greek mathematicians say it is infinite. But it was Madhava who said it is not infinite, it is a finite n into n plus 1 by 2. We attribute this to Gauss theorem, 200 years after Madhava's time. So he discovered trigonometric series, inverse trigonometric series. Now Britannica has renamed it Madhava-Grigori series, Madhava-Newton-Raphson series, like that.
This is the ancestral
temple of Madhava's family. This you see that two granites. These are the two granites where one granite stone was used by Madhava to meditate, and the other stone for lying down and see the planets in the sky, full night. Then they constructed the whole orbit of the planets. 2 centuries before Copernicus, 3 centuries before Newton.
Why the discussion of Indian knowledge system cannot be complete without referring to Indian astronomy?
Indian knowledge system has a very deep antiquity, which means it is accumulative in nature. It also has many layers. And if you want to understand the layers, then you must have a time step. Astronomy is time. India was the prosperous place in the world. Why? Because of a sophisticated astronomy, because of sophisticated understanding of the monsoon, sophisticated development of agriculture. So all the basic ingredients that you need for civilization were here for thousands of years. In Surya Siddhanta, the latitude measurements of all our current nakshatra system goes back to 8000 BC. That is a great work of Dr. Anil Narayanan of ISRO. But why 8000 BC? Because that is when the inclination obliquity was the highest. And that time, Kashi, Varanasi acted exactly like what Ujjain did. And Thailand, there is actually evidence. European team found a panchang that is about 1600 years old. That is first created based on the Kashi as a starting point. And then within India, in Tamil Nadu, it is adjusted by 3 degrees because that place is 3-degree longitude difference from Kashi. Now that panchang is used in Thailand by the king of Thailand and whatnot by making appropriate correction. What do you call that?
Conversion of longitude into time.
Correct.
As we travel.
Correct.
In the eastern or western direction.
Right.
A recurring theme is clearly evident. In Indian astronomy, stars are named after seers. Madhav's mathematics flourished in a temple. Ramanujan's equations came from his Devi. It seems, for Indians, science was not contradictory to religion. For us, science was just a defined form of religion, and religion was nothing but refined science. How did India's knowledge survive while other ancient civilizations disappeared? This unique longevity baffles me. Understanding it holds the key to ensuring that today's civilizational knowledge survives too. My curiosity takes me to Chinmaya Foundation in Kerala, where I meet Gauri Mahulikar, a Vedanta researcher and former head of the Department of Sanskrit at Mumbai University.
विद्या रक्षिता संस्कृति सर्वदा. विद्या जो है फॉर एवर इट प्रोटेक्ट्स द कल्चर. प्रकृति से संस्कृति बनाना, दिस इज द टास्क फॉर ह्यूमन बीइंग. एंड हाउ ही कैन अचीव इट? फ्रॉम विद्या. और ये जो विद्याएं हैं, अष्टादश विद्या स्थानानि कहते हैं, दे आर ऑल इन संस्कृत लैंग्वेज. सो 4 वेदास, 6 वेदांगस, 4 Upangas and 4 Upavedas, it becomes 18. Ashtadasha Vidyaha Etaha. And therefore I say, Vina Sanskritam Naiva Sanskritihi. India को जानना है, Indian culture जानना है, तो संस्कृत जाननी होगी.
Inspired by Gauri's profound insights, I proceed to catch a glimpse of ancient India. The place is Mattur, a village in Karnataka which continues to speak and practice Sanskrit as its official language even today. Protected from globalization, Mattur is a pristine agrahar, a scholarly village which was established 600 years ago by the great king Krishna Dev Rai.
आचार्य जी, यहाँ की क्या विशेषता है इस गांव की?
यहाँ वेद और शास्त्र पढ़ने के लिए बहुत अवकाश मिलता है. ये तो परंपरा से ही हमारे गांव में है. संस्कृत का अध्ययन और अध्यापन, वेद का अध्ययन और अध्यापन। यहाँ गांव में 6 आहिताग्नि अग्निहोत्री हैं और 40 यजुर्वेद का पंडित हैं, और तुंगा जी ही हमारा गांव का विशेष है, क्योंकि ये तो जीव नदी है।
Just a few hours from Mattu is the unmissable Sringeri, an ancient seat of learning founded by Adi Guru Shankaracharya more than a millennia ago. Sringeri continues to preserve and protect India's Sanskrit traditions.
Script development took a long time in our civilization because we are primarily an oral tradition. So when scribes came along, so people who are knowledgeable, they usually dictate and scribes take it down.
So this is
a palm leaf.
Palm leaf, and it's written with some kind of ink here.
Usually a brass tool, it's inscribed.
How wonderful.
You can see the inscription, but you can't read it. We apply a kind of a powdered soot on it so that it starts appearing. The average age of a palm leaf manuscript is about 500 years. Once the manuscript becomes old, when it becomes fragile, so another copy is made.
To ensure perfect transmission of knowledge across millennia seems like an impossible task. For perspective, today's advanced digital technology can become extinct if a solar flare hits Earth today. Papers and manuscripts are not safe from calamities. The only thing which would survive the last mile would be a living knowledge retained in the hearts and minds, a rigorous oral method to preserve knowledge without errors. The idea is profound, but then why only Sanskrit? What's so special about it that Sanskrit succeeded in protecting the Indian knowledge system for such a long time?
When nobody even thought of, the words could have a science, we have an entire system of Vyakarana, Panini's grammar, where he, very distinctly states which varna, which consonant emerges from which part of the mouth cavity. It is the only language in the world which is like, as you write, so you spell, and as you spell, so do you write. The phoneme and the morpheme hardly differ. Okay? But in English, PUT put and BUT but. Why it is not but? I mean, there are hundreds of such examples. So Sanskrit is the only language, perhaps, which is very, very pure in that manner.
If I recite a Vedic mantra today, for all this is how it was recited 5,000 years back. So why I am saying this is the uniqueness of transmission.
And this transmission has happened by and large, through the Guru Shishya Parampara.
So basically the whole idea, as you rightly said, is moment you say oral, then obviously the medium of transmission is human beings. Therefore there is this Guru who is mastered, and then there was a mechanism of creating a large number of Sishyas. If you talk of this Stapatya, the architect who designs this temple, he will be a Guru, he will have a Sishya. A metalsmith who does some complex metal working will have a Guru, he will have a Sishya. So this is how we orchestrated the whole thing. It was not just about the Vedas. Every science, every engineering, every technology that we practiced, it was all through a system of Gurukula. A Guru could transmit it to 100 odd people. So the 100 odd people, out of that maybe some 20, 30 odd will actually become a Guru. So now one can imagine how this knowledge is going to go. It will be a divergent cone. That was how we were actually propagating it and passing it from generation to generation without any loss.
This ecosystem of value-based transmission of knowledge is perhaps the most unique jewel of Indian knowledge systems. The Guru Shishya Parampara. For millennia, people from all over the world stormed to India to be a part of this parampara. Right from homely Gurukulas to mighty international universities, I sense the presence of an extremely nuanced system that focused on practical learning.
What is our ancient Indian education system as such? आचार्यात् पादमादत्ते पादं शिष्यः स्वमेधया पादं सब्रह्मचारिभ्यः पादं कालक्रमेण च. When the acharya, that is the teacher, comes to the class and teaches, he teaches you only 1/4 of the whole of knowledge. 1/4 shishyaha swamedhaya, his own self-study. The third pada is sabrahmacharibhyaha, from the fellow students. We call it peer learning nowadays. And the fourth is what we call today experiential learning. That is kalakramena cha. Time has to pass by. You have to ripen with the time.
When you walk with the Guru, you talk with the Guru, you eat with the Guru, and play with the Guru. You learn without the Guru teaching you explicitly. That was the profound concept of Gurukul, the home of the Guru. No need for value education classes as today, when the entire system is value oriented. This genius interweaving of Sanskrit, and Guru Shishya Parampara is the reason behind India being the only continuous living civilization. I am beyond words. While I feel a serene sense of contentment, I am also concerned if the world is ready for such profound restructuring. I cannot help but wonder how India's knowledge systems are relevant to solving today's global challenges.
Why do you think, the exploration, of the Indian knowledge system is very necessary in the modern context?
See, the next 100 years is going to be a knowledge society. It's not about military power. It's all about who has the knowledge. And one of the important principles in strategy is what is called path dependence. The path that you walk is a function of the path that you have already walked. So for a society, for a culture, you need to know the path. The whole world is talking about sustainability. Now, if you look at the Sanskrit word dharma, the very meaning of dharma is that which can behold or sustain. But scriptures have lots of ideas on sustainable living, sustainable ways of maintaining large-scale systems, sustainability as an important concept, and so on.
हमारा चश्मा बदलना पड़ेगा. Our perspective, we are very biased. We take pride in learning foreign languages. All European languages also are derived from Sanskrit. Why can't we learn that? And another thing which is very, very special about our ancient Indian education system is they address the entire humanity as the children of immortality. Shrunuvantu Vishve Amritasya Putraha. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The entire world as one family. That is the lesson of ancient education system.
With time, instead of just consumption, we have to learn to give back, to return to the simplicity of life. That's what Indian knowledge systems have to offer us. The rapture of being human, the joy of constant learning, the pleasure of sharing. Coming times will test us, yet the ancients continue to watch quietly from the shadows, holding solutions to our problems. If only we are humble enough to look back with an open mind.
So see, very interesting video by Government of India Ministry of Education on Bharatiya Gnana Parampara, on Indian knowledge system. Now let us go to Vedic literature and its cultural impact. The Vedas are the most ancient and revered text in Indian literature, forming the basis of Indian spiritual and philosophical thought. There are 4 Vedas, each serving a unique purpose and offering insights into various aspects of life and universe. Just 1 minute. वेद भारतीय साहित्य में सबसे प्राचीन और पूजनीय ग्रंथ है, जो हिंदू आध्यात्मिक और दार्शनिक विचार की आधारशिला है। 4 वेद है, जिसमें प्रत्येक एक अद्वितीय उद्देश्य की पूर्ति करता है और जीवन और ब्रह्मांड के विभिन्न पहलुओं को और पहलुओं में अंतर्दृष्टि प्रदान करता है। The Rig Veda, oldest of the Ved, is Rig Veda, is a collection of 1028 hymns and ruchas dedicated to various deities such as Agni, Indra, and Soma. वेदों में सबसे पुराना ऋग्वेद है, जो 1028 रुचाओं का संग्रह है, जो विभिन्न देवता जैसे कि अग्नि, इंद्र और सोम को समर्पित है। It is primarily concerned with cosmology, philosophy, and ruchas that seek to understand the nature of the cosmos and the divine. यह मुख्य रूप से ब्रह्मांड विज्ञान, दर्शन और रुचाओं से संबंधित है, जो ब्रह्मांड और परमात्मा की प्रकृति को समझने की कोशिश करते हैं। The ruchas are composed in early Vedic Sanskrit and reflect a deep reverence for nature and the elements. रुचाएं वेदांत और वैदिक संस्कृत में लिखे गए हैं और प्रकृति और तत्वों के प्रति गहरी श्रद्धा दर्शाते हैं। Now let us have a look at Samved, known as the Ved of melodies. A Samved consists primarily of ruchas derived from Rig Veda but set to musical notation. जो म्यूजिक के नोटेशन होते हैं, उसके वेद के रूप में जिसे माना जाता है, वो सामवेद है। सामवेद में मुख्य रूप से ऋग्वेद से प्राप्त रुचाएं होती हैं, लेकिन संगीत संकेतन के लिए ये सेट होते हैं। These ruchas were intended to be sung during rituals and sacrifices. ये जो रुचाएं हैं, वो अनुष्ठानों और बलिदानों यानी यज्ञ के दरमियान गाए जाने वाले गीत हैं या श्लोक हैं या म्यूजिकल नोटेशंस हैं। The musical aspect of Samveda highlights the importance of sound and melody in spiritual practices, which is a foundation to the rich tradition of Indian classical music. ये सामवेद के संगीत का जो पहलू है, वो आध्यात्मिक प्रथाओं में ध्वनि और माधुर्य के महत्व पर प्रकाश डालता है, जो भारतीय शास्त्रीय संगीत की समृद्ध परंपरा की एक नींव है। The Yajurveda, third one, is divided into 2 main sections, the White Yajurveda and Black Yajurveda. जो यजुर्वेद है, वो 2 मुख्य खंडों में विभाजित किया गया है, श्वेत यजुर्वेद और काला यजुर्वेद। It consists of prose mantra used in ritualistic sacrifices. वो उसमें जो है गद्य वाले मंत्र शामिल हैं, जिसका अनुष्ठानों में और यज्ञों में उपयोग किया जाता है। Unlike the Rig Veda and Samveda, Yajurveda provides detailed instructions for performing these rituals, making it a practical guide for priests, that is Purohit, conducting sacrifices. ऋग्वेद और सामवेद से विपरीत यजुर्वेद इन अनुष्ठानों को करने के तरीकों के बारे में विस्तृत निर्देश प्रदान करता है, जिससे यह यज्ञ करने वाले पुरोहित यानी पुजारियों के लिए एक व्यवहारिक मार्गदर्शन बन जाता है। अथर्ववेद. The Atharvaveda is a collection of spells, charms, and incantations addressing everyday concerns such as health, protection, and prosperity. अथर्ववेद मंत्रों और मंत्रों का एक संग्रह है जो स्वास्थ्य, सुरक्षा और समृद्धि जैसी रोजमर्रा की चिंताएं जो होती हैं उसको संबोधित करता है। It is more diverse in content than other Veda and include material related to medicine, sorcery, and daily routines. अन्य वेदों की तुलना में यहाँ पर जो सामग्री है वो विविध और अधिक है, जिसमें दवा, जादू टोना और दैनिक अनुष्ठानों से संबंधित सामग्री शामिल है। The Atharva Veda reflects a more practical and accessible aspect of Vedic literature, focusing on immediate needs and concerns of the people. अथर्ववेद वैदिक साहित्य के एक अधिक व्यवहारिक और सुलभ पहलू को दर्शाता है, जो लोगों की तात्कालिक जरूरतों और चिंताओं पर अपना ध्यान केंद्रित करता है। The Vedas have profoundly influenced the Indian culture, shaping rituals, traditions, and societal norms that continue till today. वेदों ने भारतीय संस्कृति को गहराई से प्रभावित किया है, अनुष्ठानों, परंपराओं और सामाजिक मानदंडों को आकार दिया है, जो आज भी जारी है। The rituals like Vedic rituals, especially those described in Yajur Veda, have laid the foundation for Hindu rituals performed today. वैदिक अनुष्ठानों में विशेष रूप से यजुर्वेद में वर्णित अनुष्ठानों ने आज किए जाने वाले हिंदू अनुष्ठानों की नींव रखी है। इसमें यज्ञ अनुष्ठान का प्रदर्शन भी शामिल है, जो देवताओं को प्रसन्न करने, आशीर्वाद लेने और ब्रह्मांडीय व्यवस्था बनाए रखने के लिए आयोजित किए जाते हैं। This include performing yagna to please deities, seek blessings, and maintain cosmic order. The intricate details provided in Yajur Veda have ensured the continuity and consistency of these rituals over millennia. यजुर वेद में दिए गए जटिल विवरणों ने सहस्त्राब्दियों से इन अनुष्ठानों की निरंतरता और स्थिरता सुनिश्चित की है। The Vedas have also given rise to various cultural traditions and festivals. For instance, Rig Vedic Ruchas celebrating Indra's victory over Vritra are reflected in annual celebrations of Diwali, which symbolizes the triumph of light over darkness. वेदों ने विभिन्न सांस्कृतिक परंपराओं और त्योहारों को भी जन्म दिया है। उदाहरण के लिए वृत्र पर इंद्र की जीत का जश्न मनाने वाले ऋग्वैदिक रुचाएं दिवाली के वार्षिक त्योहार में परिलक्षित होते हैं, जो अंधेरे पर प्रकाश के विजय का प्रतीक है। As I said, which symbolizes the triumph of light over darkness. Similarly, the chanting of Vedic ruchas during weddings, naming ceremonies, and other life cycle events showcase the enduring influences of Vedic traditions. इस तरीके से शादी, नामकरण समारोह और अन्य जीवन चक्र कार्यक्रमों के दौरान वैदिक रुचाओं का जाप वैदिक परंपराओं के स्थायी प्रभाव को दर्शाता है। The Veda, particularly Rig Veda, outline a vision of society based on the principles of dharma, and rata. Dharma, that is duty, and rata is cosmic order. वेद विशेष रूप से ऋग्वेद धर्म और रत, धर्म यानी कर्तव्य और रत यानी ब्रह्मांडीय व्यवस्था के सिद्धांतों पर आधारित समाज के दृष्टिकोण को रेखांकित करते हैं। ये ग्रंथ सामाजिक सद्भाव बनाए रखने और परिवार समुदाय को ईश्वर के प्रति अपने कर्तव्यों को पूरा करने के महत्व पर जोर देते हैं। This text emphasizes the importance of maintaining social harmony and fulfilling one's duties towards family, community, and the divine. The concept of Varna, social class, first mentioned in the Rig Veda, has played a significant role in structuring Indian society, though its interpretations and applications have evolved over time. जैसे मैंने बात की कि ईश्वर के प्रति अपने कर्तव्यों को पूरा करने पर महत्व देते हैं। वर्ण, सामाजिक वर्ग की अवधारणा जिसका उल्लेख पहली बार ऋग्वेद में किया गया है, उसने भारतीय समाज की संरचना में महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका निभाई है। हालांकि इस व्याख्याएं और कार्यान्वयन समय के साथ विकसित हुए। Let us try to have a look at philosophical thoughts. The philosophical inquiries in Veda have laid the groundwork for various schools of Indian philosophy. वेदों में दार्शनिक जिज्ञासाओं ने भारतीय दर्शन की विभिन्न स्कूलों के लिए आधार तैयार किया है। परम सत्य, ब्रह्म और व्यक्तिगत आत्मा जैसी अवधारणाएं जिन्हें उपनिषदों में और अधिक विस्तृत किया गया है, उसकी जड़ें वैदिक ऋचाओं में है। The philosophical inquiries in the Ved had laid the groundwork for various schools of Indian philosophy. Concepts such as ultimate reality, that is Brahma, and individual soul, that is Atma, further elaborated in Upanishads, have their roots in Vedic Ruchas. These ideas have shaped not only religious beliefs, but also ethical and moral framework within Indian culture. इन विचारों ने न केवल धार्मिक विश्वासों को आकार दिया है, बल्कि भारतीय संस्कृति के भीतर नैतिक ढांचे को भी आकार दिया है। The Vedas are not merely ancient texts, but living documents that continue to shape India's spiritual, cultural, and social fabric. These rucha, rituals, and philosophies have influenced every aspect of human life. वेद केवल प्राचीन ग्रंथ नहीं है, बल्कि जीवित दस्तावेज हैं जो भारत के आध्यात्मिक, सांस्कृतिक और सामाजिक ताने बाने को आकार दे रहे हैं। उनमें रुचाएं, अनुष्ठान और दर्शन ने जीवन के हर पहलू को प्रभावित किया है। The philosophies have influenced every aspect of life, making them integral to understanding Indian heritage and cultural identity, जिससे वे भारतीय विरासत और सांस्कृतिक पहचान को समझने का अभिन्न अंग बन गए हैं। Now, friends, we'll try to have a look at the Veda. How and what? Let us try to have a look at another very interesting video for maybe 5-10 minutes on the Veda. Actually, we will try to understand everything about Veda from the small video, which will really help us to understand details of the Veda.
Veda Bhumi, the land of knowledge, that is one of the names of India, and for a very good reason. If we turn the hidden pages of the history, long before the Islamic invasions and the European colonization, India has been one of the very few civilizations which has a very advanced education system of that times. I'm not saying this. If we turn back the pages of the history before 1000 AD, that's before Mughal invasions and the European colonization began, travelers from Europe, Persia to China used to travel to India to obtain the knowledge as part of this Vedic culture. If you read the books written by Megasthenes, Al-Biruni, or Hyun-Sang, you'll get to know how advanced Indian education system at that time was. The knowledge of ancient India. It is one of the most comprehensive and complex education systems in the world. In this short video, we try to compile how the ancient Indian education system looked like. The heritage of the ancient Indian education and value system as we know today has been largely preserved by the inscriptions on the temples, manuscripts, and verbally transmitted from a teacher to a student. These are the three main sources from which we have been preserving the Vedic education system till today. Now let's see what they are. For ease of understanding, we have put it this way. There are 6 broad categories of Indian scriptures which hold the entire knowledge system. They are Shruti, Smriti, Purana, Itihasam, Agamam, Siddhantam. And they cover a diverse set of fields of education like mathematics, physics, biology, philosophy, astronomy, health sciences, linguistics, and many other branches of science and technology besides the theological concepts. Starting with the first one, Shruti. Shruti is well known as the Vedas, and there are 4 of them. Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, and Atharvana Veda. Rig means praise, a form of expressing the gratitude. It explains about the various hymns praising the elements of nature and cosmos. And the second one is Yajurveda. Yajur means worship. It explains about different procedures of worship of the nature and cosmos. And the third one is Samaveda. Sama means song. It gives a music-driven canonical format to the other Vedas for ease of recitation. The fourth one is Atharvana Veda. Atharva means stable mind. It sets the rules for a steady state daily life activities that needs to be observed in a Vedic culture. All these 4 Vedas are not just like any other 4 ordinary books. You will not understand a word of it unless you are blessed with a guru who can explain to you what each of these mean. And they are highly interconnected with each other. Further down, if we look into any of these 4 Vedas, it has 4 fundamental blocks. Aranyaka, Brahmana, Samhita, Upanishad, supported by 6 external blocks. Siksha, Vyakarana, Chandas, Nirukta, Jyotisha, and Kalpa. We'll keep it very simple, not going into further details. The 4 internal blocks of Aranyaka, Brahmana, Samhita, and Upanishads, they describe the theosophical, philosophical, and physiological anatomy of the cosmos and the nature and the fundamentals of human existence. In simple words, it describes Brahman, which means the ultimate and the supreme power of the existence. And the 6 external blocks, Siksha, Vyakarana, Chandas, Nirukta, Jyotisha, and Kalpa, these are called as Vedangas. They complement the knowledge framework of Vedas with different and intricate specializations each. As you see here, Siksha is study of phonetics, Vyakarana is study of grammar, Chandas is study of linguistic rhythm and prosody, Nirukta is study of etymology, Jyotisha is study of astronomy, and Kalpa is study of rituals. All these 6 are called as Vedangas. And that's how the 4 Vedas are supported by the 6 Vedangas. And that is not all. Each of the 4 Vedas have 4 Upavedas as an offspring. Ayurveda, the study of life sciences, ascribing to Rig Veda. Gandharva Veda, study of music, art and dance, ascribing to Samaveda. Dhanurveda, study of archery and warfare, ascribing to Yajurveda. And Ardhashastra, study of business administration and political sciences, ascribing to Atharvana Veda. Now this is the complete picture of what we call today in simple words as Vedas. And one of our prime objectives of this channel, Project Shivoham, is to bring forward this entire knowledge system in a simple format that everybody can understand. We already did a couple of documentaries on Dhanurvedam, Ayurvedam, Sanskrit, and a lot more. And you can find them on our channel. And the next one is Smriti. Smriti is authored by the sages and saints who mastered Shruti, which is the Vedas, and brought in their experiences and revelations. It is much like a thesis that the sages on different branches of studies like theology, philosophy, science, etc. It completely subserves or ascribes to Shruti, which is the final authority. And there are 18 such Smritis written by different rishis. And they are Atri, Vishnu, Harita, Aushanasi, Angirasa, Yama, Apastambha, Samavarta, Katyayana, Brihaspati, Parashara, Vyasa, Shankha, Likita, Daksha, Gautama, Shatatapa, and Vasishtha Smriti. And the next one is Puranam. In very simple words, Puranam is nothing but a historical document. Often Puranam is mistaken as a mythology, but the fact of the matter is it's a historical document that has a 10-dimensional feature. And the 10 are, the first one is Sarga, history of creation of cosmos. Second one is Visarga, history of creation of the worlds. Third, Vrupti, history of evolution of the life. Fourth, Raksha, history of sustenance of life. Fifth, Antarani, history of the time scale and how the time used to be measured in the past. Sixth, Vamsha. Seventh, Vamshanucharita. Both explain about the history of the lineage and the history of the dynasties that ruled Bharat since times immemorial. Eighth, Samstha, history of the catastrophes, all the natural calamities that have occurred in the past. Ninth, Hetu, history of the prime causes of those catastrophes. And the last one is Apasarayaha, history of the Supreme Being or the different incarnations of God. And there are 18 such Puranas, all written by just one Rishi, Sri Vedavyasa. And the 18 are Markandeya Purana, Matsya Purana, Bhagavata, Bhavishya, Brahmanda, Brahma, Brahmavaivarta, Vishnu, Varaha, Vamana, Vayu, Agni, Narada, Padma, Linga, Garuda, Kurma and Skanda Puranas. The amount of knowledge in these Puranas is just incredible. For instance, Agni Puranam explains about different varieties of martial arts. We did a short documentary on Dhanurvedam, extracting details from Agni Puranam and Dhanurveda Samhita. You can check out on our channel. The next one in line is Itihasa. Itihasa, the word spells as Itihasa, which means this is how it happened. Of all the scriptures, Itihasas are the one which shaped up the ethos of India as we know today. And there are only two Itihasas, Sri Ramayanam and Mahabharatam. These two scriptures are of the highest order, which defined, directed and drove the human values in India since thousands of years. And Bhagavad Gita, which is the epitome of all the sacred scriptures, is an integral part of the grand epic of Mahabharatam. And the next one is Agamas. Agamas are treatises on theology, epistemology, and also describes the architectural principles of temple construction. Basically, they are the rule books of how a temple needs to be constructed and the rituals in the temple needs to be organized. All the magnificent grandeur of the Indian temples and the exquisite carvings that we have on the Indian temples. The source code of all that beauty is from Agamas. For instance, Shilpa Shastra, the branch of knowledge which deals with sculpting, is from Agamas. And there are 77 Shakti Agamas, 28 Shiva Agamas, and 108 Vishnu Agamas. So wide and so deep. And the last one we have Siddhantam. Siddhantam means principles, a set of principles in different fields of science and technology. This is the most interesting part of the scriptures. For instance, in astronomy itself, we have 18 Siddhantas, which talks about different details about planetary motions, geometrical principles, trigonometry, calculus, a lot more. In this category, we have a huge set of scriptures that are in the fields of science and technology. To name a few, Sushruta Samhita by Rishi Sushruta on surgery and medicine, Aryabhattiyam by Aryabhatta on astrophysics and astronomy, Ardhashastra by Chanakya on commerce and business administration, Panchasiddhanta by Varahamihira on treatise of astronomy, Rasendra Mangalam by Nagarjuna on the science of alchemy, and the list goes on and on. And that is a very brief history about the Vedas and the other scriptures of ancient Indian education system. For ease of understanding, we tried to condense a lot, but it is so wide, deep, and complex all at the same time. And the backbone for this entire education system is Sanskritam. And if we don't have the competence of Sanskritam, all this knowledge system is good for nothing. Let me give you one example and you will understand it. Here is a slokam from Aryabhattiya, written by Aryabhatta. Yes, the same man whom we celebrate that he invented zero. In this slokam, he gave two scenarios. The first scenario is two bodies moving in opposite directions, and the second scenario is two bodies moving in same direction. He says that time elapsed for R and B to pass through or otherwise is equal to the distance by sum of their speeds. And in the other scenario, it is distance by difference of the speeds. In simple words, he gave the equation of speed is equal to distance by time. This equation of speed is equal to distance by time is the foundation for kinematics, a branch of physics, which is the heart and soul of everything that moves in this world. This equation is the foundation in the engineering of be it a car or a space shuttle. This equation is a revolutionary discovery. But if we don't know how to read Sanskritam, all this is good for nothing. According to the documented history, Galileo Galilei in the year 1638, he published a book called Two New Sciences. In this book, he first gave the formula of speed is equal to distance by time. Now don't start judging Galileo. All his work is original, and if you read this book, you'll get to know. He did not get inspired from Aryabhatta. But the fact of the matter is, something that was discovered by Aryabhatta in 510 CE had to be rediscovered by Galileo in the year 1638. In these 1000 years, the speed is equal to distance by time equation, which is written in Sanskritam, is locked up in Aryabhattiya. 1000 years. Imagine what could have been the impact if this was known earlier to the whole world. All we know about Aryabhatta is he invented zero, but he has left us a wealth of information. Well, how many such equations and other scientific concepts are hidden in the Indian scriptures which are written in Sanskritam, waiting to be decoded. Well, I'm not saying that all the great things in this world were invented or discovered by Indians, but all the great things that were done by Indians are not known to the world. And that's why we started Project Shivoham, to bring forward all these kinds of stories. And as always, thanks for watching.
So this is what Indian knowledge system is. This is what Bharatiya Gnana Parampara is. We have talked about few aspects. Another very important aspect is Upanishad. Upanishad and philosophical foundations. Upanishad, जिन्हें वेदांत के नाम से भी जाना जाता है, दार्शनिक ग्रंथों का एक संग्रह है जो अस्तित्व, वास्तविकता और स्वयं की प्रकृति के मूलभूत प्रश्नों का पता लगाता है। 800 ईसा पूर्व और 500 ईसा पूर्व के बीच रचित उपनिषदों को वैदिक विचार की परिणति माना जाता है, जो गहन अंतर्दृष्टि प्रदान करता है, जिसने भारतीय दर्शन को आकार दिया है। The Upanishads, also known as Vedanta, are a collection of philosophical texts that explore the fundamental questions of existence, reality, and the nature of the self. Composed between 800 BCE and 500 BCE, the Upanishads are considered the culmination of Vedic thought, offering profound insights that have shaped Indian philosophy. The ideas like Brahma, the concept of Brahma is central to Upanishad. Brahma is described as the ultimate, unchanging reality, the source of all that exists. It is infinite, eternal, and beyond human comprehension. The Chandogya Upanishad states, Sarvam Khalvidam Brahmam, all that is indeed Brahma, emphasizing the unity of all existence. Upanishad में ब्रह्म की जो अवधारणा है, उपनिषदों के लिए वो केंद्रीय है। ब्रह्म को परम, अपरिवर्तनीय, वास्तविकता के रूप में वर्णित किया गया है, जो सभी मौजूद है। यह अनंत, शाश्वत और मानवीय समझ से परे है। छंदोग्य उपनिषद में कहा गया है, सर्वम खलविदम ब्रह्मम, यह सब वास्तव में ब्रह्म है, जो अभी सभी अस्तित्व की एकता पर जोर देता है। Second concept, very important, is Atma. Atma refers to individual soul or self. The Upanishads teach that Atma is identical to Brahma, a realization encapsulated in Mahakavya Tata Tattvamasi from Chandogya Upanishad. This identification of the self with the universal consciousness forms the basis of Advaita, that is non-dual philosophy. आत्मा का तात्पर्य व्यक्तिगत आत्मा या स्वयं से है। उपनिषद सिखाता है आत्मा ब्रह्म के समान है, एक एहसास जो महाकाव्य में कहा गया है, तत तत्वम असि, उसमें निहित है, वह तुम हो। छंदोग्य उपनिषद से सार्वभौमिक चेतना के साथ स्वयं की यह पहचान अद्वैत दर्शन का आधार बनती है। तीसरा कॉन्सेप्ट है माया। Maya is the illusion or ignorance that veils the true nature of reality, leading individuals to perceive the world as a separate distinct. The concept of Maya explains the apparent multiplicity in the world and the challenges in realizing unity of Atma and Brahma. माया जो है वो एक ब्रह्म या अज्ञान है, जो वास्तविकता की वास्तविक प्रकृति को छिपाती है, जिससे व्यक्ति दुनिया को अलग और अलग से अलग अलग चीजों को मानते हैं। माया की अवधारणा दुनिया में स्पष्ट बहुलता और आत्मा और ब्रह्म की एकता को साकार करने में चुनौतियों की व्याख्या करती है। Then comes कर्म, the law of कर्म, which states that every action has consequences and is another very important and key concept. The Upanishads teach that one's action determines one's future experiences, including rebirths. This principle underscores the moral and ethical dimensions of human life. कर्म का नियम जो कहता है कि प्रत्येक कार्य के परिणाम होते हैं, और एक और महत्वपूर्ण अवधारणा यह है, उपनिषद कहती है कि किसी भी कार्य यानी कर्म उसके भविष्य के अनुभवों को निर्धारित करता है, जिसमें पुनर्जन्म भी शामिल है। यह सिद्धांत मानव जीवन के नैतिक और नैतिक आयामों को रेखांकित करता है। कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन। इसी के लिए इस कॉन्सेप्ट को डेवलप किया गया है, दैट वी शुड एक्ट, हमें अपना कर्म करना चाहिए, फल की चिंता नहीं करनी चाहिए. सो दीज आर फ्यू आइडियाज अबाउट इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम. भारतीय ज्ञान परंपरा के विषय में मैंने कुछ विचार आपके सामने रखे हैं. ये कुछ विचार बिंदु हैं जिसको जोड़ के आप इसमें ज्यादा समुद्र को देखने की या फिर समुद्र को जांचने की, देखने की, पाने की कोशिश कर सकते हैं. इट इज टू डीप, वो बहुत गहन है. तो मैंने कुछ बिंदु जो रखे हैं उसके आधार पर आप आगे का अपना रीडिंग, आगे का अपना ज्ञान, उसमें उन्नति बढ़ोतरी कर सकते हैं. सो विद दिस आई वुड लाइक टू कंक्लूड माय सेशन एंड आई वुड लाइक टू थैंक all the stakeholders of MMTTC of SGBAU, and I would like to thank the person who introduced me. Thank you, and thank you all who listened to me very carefully and listened to me very patiently. With this, I conclude my session.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Participants, if you have couple of questions, अगर किसी के कुछ प्रश्न है तो we'll really appreciate. अगर कोई questions लेना चाहते हैं तो we will take 1 or 2 questions, couple of questions. So if you have any questions or the queries, you can please ask to Professor Joshi, sir. Please, anyone. Yes, Dr. Girija, ma'am. Any questions from your side?
Actually, she is in the meeting, sir.
No worries, Rahul ji. कोई बात नहीं.
Okay.
So shall we conclude, sir, if you could permit?
Yes,
Sure,
yes.
sure. No problem, sir.
Yes, sir.
So on behalf of Malvi Mission Teacher Training Center and Garge Baba Amravati University, Marathwada Mitra Mandal College of Engineering and Engineering Pune, and all the participants, I extend my sincere thanks to Professor Joshi, sir, for such a wonderful and insightful session towards the adoption of this integration and adoption of this IKS, very much important aspects. Sir, your inputs are very much valuable, and definitely it will be beneficial for us in the upcoming future to integrate and enhance our research in this domain of IKS. I once again extend my sincere thanks to you for your precious time and thought-provoking session here. And with the kind consent of Professor Joshi, sir, I would like to declare that this particular session will be over here. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. Namaskar to all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, so participants, we will take continue for the next session. Our speaker has already been joined with us. Hello, Dr. Atali, sir. Good afternoon. Hello, Dr. Atali, sir. Sir, you are not audible, Atali, sir. Hello, Atali, sir.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, sir. Now, very much audible, sir. Can we start, sir, if you could permit?
Yeah, sure.
So, participants, I welcome you all once again. As I have already told you that the today's session have been split into the 2 different parts, and that is very much connected to each other. Because you know that this IKS, we have started couple of generic courses, but now we have to move for the specific some specific courses, domain specific courses that has been aligned by the UGC, and the policymaker expecting that the scholars should undergo for the diverse research in this field of IKS. Therefore, this research is very much important, and now we are going to discuss this very much important concept, that is the current trends in engineering research and development, with the help of one renowned and scholarly expert, industry expert, Dr. Nikhil Atale, sir. Sir, first of all, I extend my warm welcome to you to this flagship program and particular to this session. Friends, Dr. Nikhil Atale, sir, is the visiting faculty at Department of Business Administration at Rashtra Sant Tukolji Maharaj Nagpur University. He is well recognized and well known for his work in the rural development, governance, sustainability, and rural livelihood, particularly in the corporate area. He has visited more than the 40 countries in the universe. He has completed his PhD and MBA from European Union scholar, and he is the B gold medalist. He has more than the 15 years of experience in this field of particular higher education, and he is closely associated with the different industries, not only the national level but also the international level. and across 40 countries he have visited during his studies. During his studies, he has published scholarly 30 journals in the reputed national as well as the international journal. He has completed 27 different major projects and 14 minor research projects. He has recipient of the European Union Scholar Award. And today, in a particular session, he will talk on or share his view on the current trends in engineering, research and development. And friends, this session is very much important and beneficial for all of us because sir has the data of the industry and that will be recently very much important, recent and very much important data that should be aligned with our global priorities and the SDGs. So without taking too much time, sir, I once again extend my warm welcome to you. Request you to please start with your session. Sir, please.
Thank you. Thank you for the kind introduction. So I'll be speaking in Hindi, English, as well as Marathi. I hope इथे सगळ्यांना मराठी कळतंय because I'll be more comfortable wherever I can simplify the thing. Okay. So as we know, in the 21st century, again, we are at the point of injunction where we are talking about artificial intelligence. 1990 सालाचं जे दशक होतं त्या दशकात इंटरनेटचं युग जगात आलं. वी विल टॉक अबाउट दॅट. परत आज 1990 नंतर आपण जेव्हा 2024-25 ला आलोय, अगेन वी आर ॲट दी पॉइंट ऑफ इन्फ्लेक्शन वेअर वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट दी नेक्स्ट course of innovation, which will be artificial intelligence. So most of my presentation will be focused on how we can integrate artificial intelligence and sustainability into the future of our innovation. So let's start with a very basic concept, right? तुम्ही सगळे इंजिनिअरिंगचे स्टुडंट आहेत, फॅकल्टी आहेत. I also did my engineering from COEP in late 80s. That time we never had this subject called R&D. Okay. Even today, I don't see a lot of engineering institutes have this particular subject dedicated for a couple of years. There might be few. So it is a process of creating a new knowledge, right? So when we have, at least in information age, there is a plenty of knowledge which is at your fingertips. Okay. Prior to internet, you have to go to libraries, go to find the books, the research papers, so on and so forth. But today, with one click of button, you can really dig down anything that you want, and with the help of the so-called AI or chat GPT, you can even get more refined output of your own search. So जो भी एग्जिस्टिंग नॉलेज है उस नॉलेज का इस्तेमाल करके टू इनोवेट न्यू प्रोडक्ट और सर्विसेज और कटिंग एज टेक्नोलॉजीज फॉर व्हाट to transform our industries and improve lives. Okay, so if you have seen, every decade we are going one step ahead in terms of product innovation, service innovation, and improvement in our lives. अगर आप देखोगे आज से 20 साल पहले our average age in India for male, it was around 64.4 or let's say 65 year, like lifespan. Today, when we are talking about it, it is almost 72 to 74 years, right? So, of course, our lives have improved thanks to the medical innovation, the pharmaceutical innovation, and anything related to the food that you are taking, right? Now, the biggest and interesting part of research is that it is always interdisciplinary or multidisciplinary. Say, for example, while we were doing our MBA in Europe, people were studying mechatronics, so mechanical plus electronics. So if you look at EVs today, again, it is a classic combination of electrical, mechanical, and electronics, along with the artificial intelligence. Okay, so the process itself starts with the fundamental research, okay, the basic research. And from there, you go one step above, which is the applied research. And this applied research is basically helping people to solve the specific challenges, and the development research will help you to bring solution to the market. So take example of pharmaceutical, for example. So couple of decades ago, थंडीमध्ये जेव्हा तुमचं नाक सोंदायचं तर तुम्ही ते विक्स वेपोरप टाकून वाफारा घ्यायचा, राइट. टुडे वी हैव अ प्रोडक्ट कॉल ऑट्रिविन जो 20 सेकंड में आपकी बंद नाक को खोल देता है, राइट. इवन ऑन टेलीविजन यू आर सीइंग सेरेडॉन जो 5 मिनट में आपका सर दर्द दूर करता है, राइट. सो these all applicatory innovations are helping people to live a better quality of life. Now, when it comes to aerospace, okay, again, it is a giant industry. So we are seeing, the what you call private sector participation in India as well as in United States. Elon Musk is trying to go to Mars, so they have improved the approach whereby the solid fuel rockets can go at a much better efficiency to the outer space and discover the galaxy. So in a nutshell, the R&D is targeted to improve the efficiency, to reduce the operational cost, and maintain the competitive advantage in rapidly evolving market. म्हणजे तुम्ही कोणताही एखादा प्रॉडक्ट बघा बाजारात, right? Say you take a washing machine or you take a microwave oven or you take a refrigerator, you see how these products are being marketed. They are marketed based on their efficiency and based on the advantage that they have in terms of either reduced energy consumption or added functionality, so on and so forth. And this is all are the outputs or outcomes of the research and development. So याचे 3 क्रिस्टल क्लिअर पिलर असतात R&Dचे. जो बेसिक पहिला पिलर आहे, that is a basic research. Now, as a student of engineering, I am a mechanical engineer. So we know that all principles in engineering and science are backed by some theory which has been proved. Let's say an example of theory of gravity. We use a value of G is equal to 9.8. That is backed by the theory. Now, in basic research, we are exploring the fundamental principles and we try to expand our theoretical knowledge without any immediate commercial application. So we try to understand the principle in a much, much deeper way to understand what it is. So this kind of research is basically is of inquiry in nature. You are making a scientific inquiry or you are understanding some core mechanism, or thirdly, simply you are building your foundation of your knowledge. Okay. So anything when you pursue the PhD, whatever statement of problem you have under your doctoral thesis, that has to be backed by the basic research. See, this is a first step to generate your understanding, to create a curiosity, and then you can go to the next pillar, which is called as applied research. Now, before jumping to the second pillar, one must have a fair understanding of scientific knowledge. Because once you have the scientific knowledge, you will be able to leverage it so that specific problems can be targeted and marketable solutions can be launched that will meet the real world need. Okay, so it has again the components of problem focused investigation. Say there is a problem and you try to apply the scientific knowledge so that that solution for that particular problem can be found out. Once the solution is found out, we have to come out with a practical application. म्हणजे तुम्ही बघा, जेव्हा हेनरी फोर्डनी 1905 मध्ये फोर्ड मोटर कंपनी सुरू केली, इमिजिएटली विदिन 2 डिकेड्स आपल्याकडे इलेक्ट्रिक कार सुद्धा होती. But why EV did not succeed for the entire 20th century? Because of n number of reasons, not because of technology. Today, in 21st century, we are talking about the electric two-wheeler, electric four-wheeler, so on and so forth. So innovations which are discovered ahead of the time, there are thousands of innovation जो समय के कई पहले इनोवेट किए गए थे, but वो market driven नहीं थे. That's why they were put on the back burner. And after a period of time, they come to the mainstream market. So these market driven solutions are the need of the time. I give you an example. Probably you may have heard of it. एक स्वाइन फ्लू नावाचा फ्लू आला होता दक्षिण पूर्व आशियामध्ये 2003 ते 2005 मध्ये. ओके, सो दॅट वॉज नोन, त्याला H5N1 वगैरे म्हणायचे इफ आय एम करेक्ट. That was a known virus, but the way it spread exactly like COVID, exactly like COVID. पण हे दक्षिण पूर्व आशियात झालं होतं आणि it again came from either the chickens or the pigs. Similar history with the COVID virus. Okay, so there was a company in Europe called Roche. It is a Switzerland and France-based company. They came out with a medicine called Tamiflu. Okay, so Tamiflu immediately was launched to treat the patients of swine flu, and I was, I think, among the first patients to go through that particular treatment. क्योंकि मुझे भी वो हुआ था, and within 5 days I was rid of my H5N1 virus. So again, if you look at the COVID, the kind of vaccines were prepared across the world, whether it a Covaxin, COVID Shield, or the vaccine from Moderna, J&J, Pfizer, ये applicatory थे, and most of this applicatory research was for the, making human life better. Now, when it comes to the consumerism or the modern technology that we are talking today, let's take an example of automobiles, right? So we are having 6 airbag compulsory in our vehicles as per the law, right? Now, the concept of airbag again came in the 20th century, right? For the focus of safety, right? When automobiles started in early part of 20th century, there were no issues about the safety, but as more and more people started to drive, the speed increased, the power increased, the issue of safety came into the prime limelight. And then the regulators started to force the companies to make your car much safer. इंडिया में वो बहुत दिनों बाद आया, बहुत सालों बाद आया, बट अभी कई चीजें हमारे यहाँ मैंडेटरी हो गई है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल द एयरबैग. अगेन द इन्वेंशन स्टार्टेड विद द फ्रंट एयरबैग. ड्राइवर के लिए ही बनाई गई थी, सो दैट द स्टीयरिंग कॉलम अगर इम्पैक्ट होता है तो वो ड्राइवर के बॉडी को पियर्स ना करे. Then over the period, passenger side आ गई, पीछे की आ गई, side की आ गई. So now you have multiple airbags in a vehicle. So even if your car flips, tilts, or hit from the side, from the top, the passengers compartment and the drivers will be safer. So applied research basically is driven by the market need. So when there is a market need, the research will drive down to ensure that that demand is met in the particular segment of the market. I was reading an article, Huawei नावाची कंपनी आहे चायनामध्ये, त्यांनी एक बॅटरी लॉन्च केली. ऑफकोर्स इट इज अ ईव्ही बॅटरी फॉर द कार. 2000 किलोमीटरची त्याची रेंज आहे. दॅट इज द हायेस्ट ॲज ऑफ यस्टरडे. Prior to that, the highest was given by the BMW in Germany for 850 kilometer on single charge. Of course, we have Tesla, जो 200-250 mile जाती है, and then in India we have 200-300-400. Let's say even Mahindra EV, they claim 500, so we consider it is 500. Above 500, we do not have any single charge battery in India for the Indian cars, right? So now the scientists are eager to know how we can make long lasting batteries so that this EV segment, whether it is the two-wheeler, four-wheeler, or even the battery segment, whether it is your conventional lithium-ion battery in your cell phone or any other gadget, can it be replaced by the long charging cycle batteries? So applied research, कोई भी दुनिया का प्रोडक्ट हो या कोई भी lives हो, the applied research have the highest regard so that it helps company to position their products in a competitive market, and it also helps the mankind and the nature to improve the better quality of their life. Then the third one comes to the development research. Okay, now compared to the basic and applied, the development research will basically transform the research breakthrough into practical product processes or services ready for commercialization and market launch. Okay, so many a time the applicatory research is more targeted to the market to reduce the product life cycle and to come out with better features and better proposition for the end customer. But here in development research, the process is slightly slow, okay? But again, whatever breakthrough they have, research breakthrough they have, right? They wanted to make use of that and to transform it. Now, take example of Shanghai. They have a maglev train, magnetic levitation. म्हणजे ती ट्रेन चालताना ट्रॅक मधनं current, and that current is transformed into a magnetic properties, and the train floats above the track. So there is no friction, there are no contacts with the track. आणि ती ट्रेन जी आहे शांघायची, इट कॅन ट्रॅव्हल इझिली ॲट 420 किलोमीटर पर आवर. मी त्याच्यात बसलोय म्हणून माझा त्याचा अनुभव आहे. अँड इट रिचेस इझिली 418 419 पर्यंत तो नेतो. नाव दॅट मॅगलेव कन्सेप्ट, अनफॉर्च्युनेटली it is a breakthrough, but it is highly expensive, right? We are talking about bullet train here in India for last 11-12 years, but Japan has launched their third generation bullet train. When we are talking about the public transportation, there is a big demand in the market where billions of people can be transformed in a shortest period of time. Okay, similarly, one of the concept which came, you will be shocked to know, probably I will give you the first earlier breakthrough, then I will come to this point. मला हे सांगा, एक कमर्शियल एअरलाइनर असतं, जेट लाइनर असतं, त्याची स्पीड किती असते पर आवर? What is the speed of a commercial airliner? Any guess? अरे सांगा ना उत्तर, किती असू शकते? Am I audible?
यस सर.
हाँ तो बताइए एक एयरलाइन की स्पीड कितनी हो सकती है? आई डोंट माइंड इवन इफ यू गिव यू रॉन्ग आंसर, बट यू हैव टू गिव मी आंसर. कितनी होनी चाहिए?
1000 किलोमीटर पर आवर.
हाँ, करेक्ट आंसर. दैट इज अ मैक्सिमम स्पीड. उसको साइंस में हम क्या बोलते हैं?
वेलोसिटी.
ओके, अगेन दैट इज फाइन, वेलोसिटी. उसको क्या बोला जाता है? 1000 किलोमीटर पर आवर को एक चीज से बोला जाता है. उसको बोलते हैं मैक 1.
ओके,
right? So now Mach 1 is a speed at which the sound will travel, right? So आप अगर फाइटर जेट देखते हो, say for example Rafale or Sukhoi, they always travel above Mach 1. Okay, the commercial airliner can maximum attain the speed of Mach 1, because once you touch the Mach 1, which is 1,000 km/h, it creates a sonic boom. Okay, फिर उसके बाद वो supersonic हो जाता है. So most commercial airliner, they will fly at a speed of 700, 750, 800, 850, max 900. वो 1000 पे नहीं जा सकते. अगर वो 1000 टच किए तो it will create a sonic boom, right? So in the mid 20th century, the British and the French, they cooperated to create a supersonic passenger plane, which was called as Concorde. Okay, and this Concorde supersonic plane was only targeted for the market from Paris to New York and London to New York, transatlantic जिसको बोलते हैं, right? And the objective was to reduce the travel time by half. Conventional aircraft अगर 8 साढ़े 8 घंटे लेता होगा तो ये 4 साढ़े 4 घंटे में अटलांटिक ओशन क्रॉस करके न्यूयॉर्क जाते थे. It was a very successful and very expensive result, but it worked. It stayed there, and unfortunately, after an accident in France, the Concorde was put to the rest. It is no longer flying, right? So the research breakthrough again came in the form of A380 double-decker aircraft. Okay, so when aviation companies are designing the aircraft, they are designing उसके जो विंग्स होते हैं, वो जो ईगल ज्याला गरुड म्हणतो मराठीत, त्याच्या पंखानुसार त्याचे विंग्स डिझाइन केलेले आहेत, right? So that lift can be maintained at an altitude of 40,000 plus feet. So what is important in a development research is to create a prototype. तुम्ही बघता जेव्हा एखादी नवीन कार येते मार्केटमध्ये, त्याच्या आधी प्रोटोटाइप बनतात. Okay, not a facelift. They launched Kia Seltos facelift yesterday. Okay, it is a facelift plus it has a longer wheelbase, but the platform is already proven. जेव्हा automobile engineering मध्ये आपण platform म्हणतो, that means the chassis and the all engineering part is already been proven. But say I ask your institute to make a triple decker plane, की 3 माळ्याचं विमान बनवा. So you will come out with a basically a theory understanding, then prepare a prototype, check the scalability testing, and then you will try to see the commercial viability of that particular 3-tier plane, की हे market मध्ये चालू शकतं का. In aviation history, there were 2 projects. One made the money, which was Boeing 747, जे double decker पूर्ण नव्हतं, त्याला वरचा पार्ट होता आणि मेजॉरिटी खालचा पार्ट होता. अँड द सेकंड वन इज A380 फ्रॉम एअरबस. त्याचे अजून पैसे निघालेले नाही, बिकॉज दे इन्व्हेस्टेड हेवीली इन टू रिसर्च अँड डेव्हलपमेंट, अँड इट विल नीड सर्टन क्वांटिटी ऑफ प्लेन्स टू बी सोल्ड in the market so that the original cost of development can be recovered. So these are the 3 pillars. Okay, now रिसर्च करण्यासाठी तुम्हाला analytical thinking is a must. Okay, I will humbly request you, all the Gen Z people, stay away from the WhatsApp university. Try to read the book. Try to get in touch with a physical book. Even if you have Kindle or some tablet, you can read good books online, but stay away from all these noises in the social media, right? So analytical thinking. Now, why it is critical? Karan, when you are conducting an experiment, when you are dealing with parameters and data, you should able to systematically examine all that. And at the same time, you should be in a position to break down that complex information into manageable component through the complex analysis. सोप्या शब्दात सांगायचं म्हणजे एखादा डेटा बघून त्याला त्याचं अनालिसिस करून तुम्हाला त्याची मांडणी सोप्या पद्धतीने करता आली पाहिजे. Second is a recognition of patterns. Okay, research करताना you will see, okay, even as a what you call a layman, I tell you the example of my own grandfather who never used to wear the wristwatch, but he will tell the exact time by looking at the sun. We were living in a village, so that is a pattern. He knew that, and in the rainy season when there were clouds, he was still accurate telling what time it is, although the sun was behind the cloud. So understanding the pattern, okay, because when we live from day to day life, okay, you see the patterns in on the road, in the society, in the season, with some stray dog in your society. Pattern असतात ते तुम्हाला recognize करता आला पाहिजे. Okay. Now, when it comes to research, okay, identifying the meaningful pattern, what are the emerging trends and the critical gaps in the research finding to draw a valid evidence-based conclusion that drive the innovation forward. See, whenever somebody comes up with some kind of innovation, there are always gaps in that particular innovation. So as a researcher, you must be able to identify those critical gaps. They may be useful, they may not be useful, we don't know. But by understanding those gaps, okay, and trying to find out the evidence-based conclusion, you can take that innovation to the next step. I tell you an example. मी 2012ला इंडियामध्ये परत आलो 20 वर्ष बाहेर राहून. So I think 2014, some Japanese people, they came to, I'm from Nagpur. They came to Nagpur for some business visit. So we did couple of days of work and then I went back to drop them at the airport. So airport पे उन लोगों ने मेरे को एक पेन गिफ्ट किया. They said, Nikhil sir, this is for you. So I looked at the pen. त्याच्यामध्ये 5 रंग होते. म्हटलं, what is so unique about this pen? You know what they said? ते म्हणाले या पेनची शाई केव्हाही संपत नाही. So my first reaction was, sir, you are joking. They said, no, this is a Japanese innovation. जब तक आप जिंदा हो, ये पेन जिंदा रहेगा. So when I came home, I tried to open that pen because I had lots of questions in my mind. याची शाई संपत नाही म्हणजे याच्यात ऑटोमॅटिक रिफिल होतं का, की याच्यामध्ये असं कोणतं केमिकल आहे की जे लॉंग लास्टिंग आहे, सेल्फ जनरेट. आय हॅव स्टडीड दॅट फॉर ऑलमोस्ट 2 days. आपण जेव्हा पेननी लिहितो तर त्या पेनच्या रिफिल मधला बॉल मागे सरकतो आपल्या प्रेशरमुळे हाताच्या आणि ती शाई बाहेर येते आणि आपलं लिखाण त्या कागदावर उतरवतं. So after that, I started looking into Google and all that. So that technology was developed in Japan. Again, it is very expensive. It is not mass marketed, but yes, that's what they have done. And there were many such products which are still available today, but they are not viable simply because they are very, very expensive. And then the third one is a strategic problem solving. So when you are making the decision, that decision have to be informed. तुम्हाला त्याची सविस्तर आणि पूर्ण माहिती असणं अत्यावश्यक आहे. Okay? While conducting an experiment, you may come out with some challenges, so you should be able to troubleshoot that. Okay? And while applying the innovative approaches, okay, or developing the approaches, you have to overcome the research obstacle. तुम्ही बघा, हे जगात जेवढेही शोध लागले आहेत ते काय असे सहजासहजी लागले नाहीत. Either they came through the accident, or they came out of some mistake, or they came out of the pure persuasion. They pursued, and then they found it. So या 3 क्वालिटी तुमच्याकडे हव्यात. ओके, की मेथॉडिकल डेटा एक्झामिनेशन, पॅटर्न रिकॉग्निशन and strategic problem solving. Okay. Now, the specialized knowledge. Okay. Why we are talking about data? Because again, we are in information age. Okay. And for any outcome of any research, it has to be based on data. You can't simply say, ki, मला असं असं कळलंय म्हणून असं नाही. यू हॅव टू शो द डेटा, व्हॅलिडेट द डेटा अँड मेक शुअर दॅट the outcome complies with what you were claiming at the beginning. Okay, so whichever field, again in India, the education system is such that you are jack of all but master of none. Okay, that is our system, fine. But whichever domain or subject you like, really like, okay, you should have a deep expertise in that, whether it is a chemistry, molecular biology, material science, or any stream of engineering, that can lead to the foundation for breakthrough of the research. जो विषय तुम्हाला आवडतो तो, okay? So specialized knowledge is a must. Second, instrumental proficiency. Now, why it is required? Again, over the past 5 decades, lot of scientific equipments have turned from analog to digital and digital to AI based. They are highly sophisticated, highly delicate in terms of their calibration, so on and so forth. And also they are highly reliable on the software that runs this instrument. Okay, so one should be a master in managing all these things. Okay, and the last one is a data management, because when you are conducting a research, okay, you are conducting over a period of 5-10 years, depend on the problem that you are looking at it. So here, over a period of large time frame, we are looking at a complex data set. Okay, and again, the outcome of your research will be multifaceted. It won't have only one outcome. So able to interpret that, understand that with accuracy, and then basically transforming that raw data into actionable insight that will drive the discovery. मग म्हणून या 3 गोष्टी, स्पेशलाइज नॉलेज, इन्स्ट्रुमेंटल प्रोफिशियन्सी आणि डेटा मॅनेजमेंट, या तुमच्या प्री रिक्विसिट आहेत. The fourth and most important, think beyond the boundaries. Okay, आपण ट्रेडिशनली 2 डायमेन्शन मध्ये विचार करतो. Try to think beyond the boundary. Say, take example, tomorrow you go to your college, mechanical people, see the bicycle. Okay, bicycle is just like that from the ages. सुरुवातीच्या ज्या बायसिकल होत्या त्याचं पहिलं चाक खूप मोठं होतं, दुसरं चाक खूप लहान होतं, राईट. देन फ्रॉम 19th century ऑनवर्ड आपण दोन्ही चाकं सारख्या असलेला बायसिकल बघतोय, राईट. हा फरक मेटलची फ्रेम आहे, ॲल्युमिनियमची आहे, वूडची आहे, त्याचे टायर माउंटेनवर जाण्यासाठी आहेत की कसे आहेत, दोज आर ओनली दी अप्लिकेटरी पॉइंट ऑफ व्ह्यू. अँड सी त्या बाईकला काय करता येईल, सायकलला काय करता येईल, सो दॅट इट विल लुक डिफरंट, इट विल ड्राईव्ह मोर एफिशियंटली. मग त्या गिअरवाल्या बाईक्स आल्यात, फाईन, डू समथिंग. सो थिंकिंग बियॉन्ड बाउंड्रीज. Okay, that means developing unique, unconventional solution by challenging assumption and approaching the problem from fresh perspective to improve existing product and create entirely new category. I tell you, Steve Jobs never wanted to launch iPhone. Okay, Akio Morita, who was a founder of Sony, he wanted people to listen to the music while they were running or jogging at the morning. मग त्यांनी वॉकमन बनवला. आणि जेव्हा तो अमेरिकेत गेला, लोक त्याच्यावर हसले, ते म्हणे काय मूर्खपणा आहे, आम्ही असं वॉकमननी गाणे ऐकणार नाही. सो ही केम बॅक टू जपान. ही अगेन वर्कड ऑन इट, रिफाइंड इट, अँड वॉकमॅन बिकेम हिट. इट बिकेम हिट टिल लेट 1990s. मग आले तुमचे MP3 प्लेयर, because then cassette became obsolete and the music was transformed from analog to MP3 format or MP4 format, and then the MP3 player came. Steve Jobs exactly wanted to do the digital Walkman. मग त्यांनी आयपॉड आणला की तुम्ही सकाळी पार्कमध्ये फिरताना कानाला आयपॉड लावून फिरा. And that's how the way people used to listen to the music from the cassette, it was transformed into iPod. So there could be something, I mean, 20 वर्ष आधी कोणी विचार केला असेल की सगळे फोन टच स्क्रीनचे येतील? जेव्हा पहिला टच आला तेव्हा लोकांनी त्याला मूर्ख काढलं. त्यामुळे आपल्याला बोटं दिले आहेत, कीपॅड आहे. व्हाय डू वी नीड टच? बट देन टुडे एव्हरीथिंग इज टच, राईट? सो सांगायचा उद्देश असा आहे की आज जे तुम्ही बघत आहात, तुम्ही 50 वर्ष पुढचं बघून एखादा प्रॉडक्ट डिझाईन करा. तो सक्सेसफुल होईल की नाही, दॅट्स अ डिफरंट क्वेश्चन ऑल टुगेदर. ओके, बट थिंकिंग बियॉन्ड द बाउंड्रीज. तुम्हाला मी एक मार्केटिंगचं उदाहरण देतो. लाईफ बॉय आहे तुमच्या सगळ्यांच्या घरी, हँडवॉश. डू यू हॅव
Yes, sir.
हँडवॉश ॲट युअर होम?
Yes, sir.
हाऊ डू यू यूज हँडवॉश?
Just take it on the hand and scrub it, and then start the tap and wash it the hand.
You use the dispenser, right? You
Yeah.
press on that, and then the hand wash, that liquid comes out to your palm, right? Right? So, a company in Germany called Nivea, Nivea ने बोला हम शेविंग क्रीम डिस्पेंसर से देंगे. आज के तारीख में हम शेविंग क्रीम कैसे यूज करते हैं? इधर वी हैव दी सो कॉल्ड कैन, वो जो कैन होता है एरोसोल कैन, वो एरोसोल कैन को दबा के वो शेविंग फोम या जेल हमारे हाथ में आता है और हम लोग अपने फेस पे लगाते हैं. So Nivea said instead of aerosol can, we will give the dispenser. So people laughed at it. They said nobody uses dispenser except the so-called the body lotion companies and hand wash companies. But it took people some time, and now people are used to it. Not in India, मैंने इंडिया में कोई कंपनी करते हुए देखा नहीं. So point is that traditionally आप लोग टूथपेस्ट को दबा के पेस्ट बाहर निकालते हैं. Can you think about something else कि जिससे वो हो जाए, राइट? यूके में एक आदमी ने बोला कि मैं ऐसा ब्रश बनाऊंगा जिसके अंदर ही टूथपेस्ट होगी. सो आप ब्रश को पीछे से दबाओ तो टूथपेस्ट नीचे आ जाएगी. यू डोंट नीड टूथपेस्ट एंड टूथब्रश. सो ये हो रहा है, यू हैव टू सी इट. ओके, सो एनीथिंग दैट यू थिंक कैन बी बियॉन्ड द बाउंड्री. देन embrace experimentation. Okay, so what does it mean? Cultivating a growth mindset that views failure as valuable learning. You will fail 1 time, 2 time, 3 time, 10 time, 20 time, but every failure will give you the learning. म्हणजे जेव्हा अमेरिकेनी कोल्ड वॉरच्या वेळेस टू बीट द रशिया, दे स्टार्टेड टू मेक सॅटर्न रॉकेट. त्या रॉकेटचं नाव सॅटर्न होतं. बरेचदा ते पडलं. इवन हिटलरच्या केसेसमध्ये बरेचदा झालं. सो एव्हरी टाइम दे फेल्ड, दे बिल्ट अगेन, and that is a valuable learning opportunity. Okay, and basically once you are into that experimentation embracing mode, gradually it will lead you to the breakthrough discovery of innovations. And third one is a connecting the dots. Now the students that I meet, okay, both in India and abroad, they have a fair idea, they know the dots, but their ability to connect the dot is missing. म्हणजे काय? म्हणजे unrelated idea, discipline and concept to envision innovative possibilities that other might overlook. मी असं काय करू शकतो की जे दुसऱ्यांच्या नजरेत येणार नाही, and I will try to do it, and it will become the hallmark of transformative R&D. So this is very important. And you don't have to be Albert Einstein or Isaac Newton. You can be an ordinary person, but you should able to do something which others have failed or others have failed to observe. And once you get chance to observe something and see the possibility, you should pursue it come what may, right? So connecting the dots. And how to build that skill set? Okay, first, analytical thinking, technical expertise, creativity, communication, project management, and पर्सनल रेझिलियन्स. ओके, या 6-7 गोष्टी आहेत that will empower you to drive the innovation and achieve the lasting success in R&D career. See, R&D is not about 1 week, 2 week, 1 year, 10-year job. It is a multi-year job. Okay, it is a passion, so that you know, discover. The other day I was traveling to Pune from Nagpur in a train, and there were a bunch of young people in my train bogie. And then after we left Nagpur, they started talking. So I could know that they were all dentists. So then I spoke to one of them. I said, "Where you are going?" They said, "In Pune, they have some conference about dentists all over India." I said, "What will happen in that conference?" They said, "There is one a big dentist from America. He will, share his experience from video conference to tell." I said, "What he will tell you?" "A different way of doing surgery." मग मी जेव्हा त्यांच्याशी बोललो ना, ते म्हणे, "सर, ट्रेडिशनल डेंटिस्ट जे करत आहेत, जाऊन तुमचे दात उपटायचे आणि ते काय रूट कॅनल वगैरे करायचे, हे टेक्निक खूप ऍडव्हान्स झालेलं आहे. म्हणजे आपण जे बघतो, सिन्स वी डू नॉट गेट इन टच विथ डेंटिस्ट ऑन अ डे टू डे बेसिस, पण आपल्याला डेंटिस्टची संकल्पना काय, की बाबा दात दुखला, किडला, काही झालं तर तो उपटून काहीतरी तिथे करणार. But when I spoke to them, I could realize it is much, much sophisticated than what we think. Okay, so that is dentist, but here we are talking about engineering. Maybe 100 times or million times more opportunities in engineering than the dentistry itself, because dentistry deal with tissues and teeth only. But in the world of engineering is very, very wide. Okay, so this research landscape, they evolve rapidly. So you must be a continuous learner, embracing the new method and the ability to maintain, will keep you at the forefront of discovering the dynamic field. Because when we are talking about science, only one thing is true, it is evolving. And science मधलं आपण जर टेक्नॉलॉजीचं बघितलं, continuously evolving. Every 3 years, something will get obsolete, something new will come. मग तुम्हाला काय करायचं आहे? क्युरॉसिटी पाहिजे, कोलॅबरेशन करता आलं पाहिजे, आणि तुमची क्रिएटिव्हिटी बाहेर करता आली पाहिजे. जा ना, उद्या घरी जा संध्याकाळी आणि बघा तुम्ही कंगव्यानी भांग का करता. इज देअर एनी वे की आपण भांग वेगळ्या पद्धतीने करू किंवा काही मशीननी करू? आय टेल यू वन एक्झाम्पल. सिंगापूरमध्ये 25 वर्ष जुनी गोष्ट आहे. एका माणसाने विचार केला की लोकांना का न्हाव्याकडे जावं लागतं केस कापायला, 15-15 मिनिटं वाट पाहावी लागते, अपॉइंटमेंट घ्यावी लागते. त्यांनी काय केलं, एक मशीन बनवली. त्या मशीनमध्ये 4 प्रोग्राम बनवले आणि ती फक्त माणसांसाठी होती, ओनली फॉर मेल, नॉट फॉर फिमेल, बिकॉज फिमेल हेअर्स आर व्हेरी लॉंग अँड कॉम्प्लेक्स. सो, आणि त्यांनी ती मशीन जिथे जिथे पब्लिक प्लेसेस होत्या, 24/7 बाल काटणे की मशीन, बऱ्यापैकी मोठी खुर्ची वगैरे होती. तुम्ही जायचं, पैसे टाकायचे, प्रोग्राम सिलेक्ट करायचा, तुमच्या डोक्यावर ते येईल आणि त्याच्या आतमध्ये कात्र्या वगैरे होत्या, हवाचे ब्लोअर होते. मी त्याचा अनुभव घेतलाय. आणि तो तुम्हाला 7 मिनिटाच्या आत तुमची कटिंग करून देईल आणि कुठेही कचरा नाही, काही नाही, काही नाही. यू वोंट सी एनी. सो पीपल थॉट इट इज अ इनोव्हेशन दॅट विल टेक आउट द बार्बर. जे केस कापणारे दुकान बंद. सो दे वर व्हेरी एक्साइटेड. बट ओव्हर द पिरियड that technology died because people have preferences. तुम्ही जाऊन त्या नावाला सांगतात, अरे इथे कमी काप, इथे जास्ती काप, असं कर, तसं कर. सो पर्सनलाइज सर्व्हिस दॅट मशीन कुड नॉट गिव्ह. ओके, सो जगामध्ये बरेच, त्याला मी कलंत्री असा नाव देईल, बरेच लोक आहेत. देर लॉट ऑफ इनोव्हेटिव्ह पीपल. यू ट्राय टू बी वन ऑफ देम. ट्राय टू सी समथिंग, okay. Let's go to the complex world now. हे जे वर्ष आहे 2025, it is a pivotal year for R&D in engineering. Why I'm saying? Because मगाशी मी कॉन्व्हर्जन्स नावाचा शब्द वापरला, राईट? सो इन big way, telecom, media and technology, they converge together. And then you see platform like YouTube, गुगल, हे सगळे 20-25 वर्ष जुने आहे. हे सगळे या मिलेनियम मध्ये आलेले बिझनेसेस आहेत. आधी काही नव्हता. राईट? सो सेम कन्सेप्ट इज नाव कमिंग आउट विथ AI. AI इज इव्हन, मी त्याला वर्स्ट नाही म्हणणार, त्याला शब्द मला इंग्रजीत कळणार नाही, व्हर्सेटाईल प्रॉबॅबली इज प्रॉबॅबली अ मिलियन टाइम व्हर्सेटाईल दॅन इंटरनेट. कारण AI सगळीकडे जाणार आहे, सगळीकडे म्हणजे सगळीकडे. राईट? सो दी ग्लोबल R&D एक्सपेंडिचर 24 मध्ये $2.7 ट्रिलियन होतं. ट्रिलियन म्हणजे एकावर 9 शून्य. राईट? And it was led by significant growth in cross-border collaboration and wide geographic distribution of innovation center. कालच तुम्ही बघा, तो सत्या नडेला म्हणे की $17 बिलियन ते इनोव्हेशन सेंटर आंध्र प्रदेश की तेलंगणामध्ये ते टाकणार आहे. राईट? सो इन्व्हेस्टमेंट सर्च. देन सस्टेनेबिलिटी इम्परेटिव्ह. ओके, कॅन यू मेक अ नेट झिरो रोड मॅप? Can you make a car that will not emit CO2? हो, त्याचं उत्तर आहे हायड्रोजन कार, जी गडकरी साहेब चालवतात. ती चीप आहे का? ती चीप नाही आहे. हायड्रोजन ॲज ए फ्युएल स्वस्त आहे का? इंडियामध्ये अजून फार कमी बनता येते. आपण अजूनही डिझेल, पेट्रोल, LNG, CNG, PNG हेच वापरतोय. अँड देन दी सर्क्युलर डिझाईन अप्रोचेस. सर्क्युलर डिझाईन म्हणजे तुम्ही कमीत कमी वेस्टमध्ये तो प्रॉडक्ट चांगला बनवायचा. What we have seen earlier as a part of R&D, again, it is to improve the product approaches. Then the standards and risk. With the information technology and AI, there is a big issue about the data privacy. Okay, so आता ही जी माहिती जगामध्ये उपलब्ध आहे ना, याच्याकरता तुम्हाला क्वांटम कम्प्युटिंग लागणार आहे. हे तुमचं, हे जे एनव्हिडियाच्या ज्या चिप्स आहेत ना, एक एक चिप $5,000, $50,000 आहे साहेब ती चिप, जी आपल्या कम्प्युटरमध्ये आपण इंटेल लावतो किंवा अजून काही लावतो. दिस चिप्स कॅन हँडल क्वांटम कम्प्युटिंग टास्क. ओके, सो ॲज ऑफ टुडे देर इज नो स्टँडर्ड अबाउट क्वांटम कम्प्युटिंग, अँड देन देर इज अ बिग risk about the security or cyber security. And then the talent shift. आता काय होत आहे, प्रत्येक इंजिनिअरिंगच्या ब्रांच मध्ये AI आलेला आहे. ओके, प्रिव्हियसली इट वॉज ओनली फॉर कम्प्युटर सायन्स और इन्फॉर्मेशन सायन्स. नाउ एव्हरी ब्रांच ऑफ इंजिनिअरिंग, बी इट अ सिव्हिल, मेकॅनिकल, इलेक्ट्रिकल, बायोटेक्नॉलॉजी, hybrid skills of AI is a must. Okay, so या ज्या 3 इनोव्हेशन आहेत, स्मार्ट मॅन्युफॅक्चरिंग, सस्टेनेबल इंजिनिअरिंग अँड ॲडव्हान्स कम्प्युटिंग, these are the greatest innovations of engineering in year 2025. Now, the second that you will learn or hear is a machine learning. काय होता है? Machine learning is not a new concept. It was a concept designed in 1980s. जर्मनीमध्ये हा कन्सेप्ट आला. मग नंतर रोबोट्स आलेत, मग टास्क ऑटोमेशन झालेत, रिपिटेटिव्ह टास्क तो रोबोट करायला लागला. पण आता असा जो कन्सेप्ट आलाय, विथ दी हेल्प ऑफ सो कॉल्ड दी इन्फॉर्मेशन अँड दी कम्प्युटिंग टेक्नॉलॉजी दॅट वी हॅव, की we can generate generative design. So basically, the AI will explore vast design spaces and automate multi-objective optimization, generating novel solutions that human engineers might not discover. म्हणजे beyond human. Then of course, the ML will help the predictive maintenance. आता बघा, माझ्याकडे एक जर्मन कार आहे, ते मला बरोबर सांगत असतं, ठीक आहे, आणि इट इज नॉट अ स्टेट ऑफ दी आर्ट टेक्नॉलॉजी, जुनी टेक्नॉलॉजी आहे. ते सांगते की साहेब इतक्या किलोमीटरवर तुम्हाला ऑइल बदलायचं आहे, तिथे तो नोटीस देतो 1 महिना आधी. मग ते टायर प्रेशर मॉनिटर सेन्सर आहे, ते सांगतं की असं आहे. मग बाकीचे सेन्सर सांगतात की साहेब लाईटचा पॉवर कमी झाली आहे किंवा हा चालत नाही. सो what is happening, you are trying to predict the maintenance. सो हे ML मॉडेल काय करतात, दे अनालाइज दी सेन्सर डेटा टू अँटिसिपेट इक्विपमेंट फेल्युअर बिफोर दे ऑकर. तुम्ही इंडिगोचं विमान बघा. आय वॉज ऑलवेज फॅसिनेटेड बाय एरोनॉटिकल इंडस्ट्री, की जेव्हा तुम्ही विमानात बसता ते इंजिन कसं चालतं, ते थ्रस्ट जनरेट करतं. आणि जेव्हा तुम्ही मुंबईहून न्यूयॉर्कला जाता, मग ते 15-16 तास ते इंजिन कसं चालू शकतं इतक्या कमी टेम्परेचरमध्ये. हाय लेवल ऑफ रिलायबिलिटी. आता अशा, किंवा तुम्ही पॉवर प्लांट बघा. पॉवर प्लांटचं टर्बाईन आणि जनरेटर हे 24 तास चालतं, बिकॉज इट इज अ अनइंटरप्टेड सोर्स, राईट. किंवा मी जेव्हा समृद्धी महामार्गावर गाडी चालवतो, 5-5 तास गाडी नॉनस्टॉप चालते. सो फॉर कंटिन्युअस सर्व्हिसेस दी ML विल टेल यू दी प्रेडिक्टिव्ह मेंटेनन्स, की यावेळेस थांबून हे करा. म्हणजे आता माझ्याकडे ते ॲपल वॉच आहे, ते सुद्धा मला सांगतं माझी स्ट्रेस वाढली की म्हणतं सर यू रिलॅक्स. सो प्रेडिक्टिव्ह मेंटेनन्स. देन AI ॲक्सलरेटेड सिम्युलेशन. याच्या आधी CAD CAM आलं, ओके. पण आता विथ दी AI सिम्युलेशन विल गो टू दी नेक्स्ट लेवल. CAD CAM was only for the design purpose, but for simulation purpose, AI will be drastically useful. Then the quality and yield. Okay, so product has to be of better quality, and at the same time it is of affordable cost. किंवा yield म्हणजे तुमचं output divided by input, right? So while putting that in engineering, your number of defects will be reduced significantly and manufacturing consistency will go up drastically. So you know the Six Sigma General Electric's, right? की किती मिलियन मध्ये किती डिफेक्टिव्ह प्रॉडक्ट असले पाहिजे. सो AI will surpass, or machine learning will surpass the Six Sigma also. And then the engineering co-pilot. Now you see on the television, ते काय गुगल जेमिनायची ऍड देतात, राईट. की जेमिनायला विचारा तो सांगेल, चॅट जीपीटीला विचारा तो सांगेल. इवन मायक्रोसॉफ्टनी त्याचा को पायलट बनवलेला आहे. नाव तुम्ही कोडिंग करताना, म्हणजे माझा पुतण्या इंजिनिअरिंग करतोय, तो चॅट जीपीटीचं कोडिंग करून देतो, मी स्वतः बघितलंय. सो फॉर CAD मॉडेलिंग, डॉक्युमेंटेशन, वर्क फ्लो आणि जे रिपिटेटिव्ह टास्क आहे ते सगळे तुमचे आता मशीन लर्निंगनी होणार. ओके, I like this part more than any other part because I think we have to look at the environment also while we are looking at the research and development. Now, with the R&D, you are having renewable integration, solar, wind, storage system, floating wind farm, enabling deep water offshore renewable generation. Of course, India has made remarkable progress in renewable generation, but now the challenge is to integrate that. Current solar is only available for 6 to 8 hours a day, whereas wind and the deep water offshore renewable generation are available 24/7. The what you call storage system, depending on the peak load demand, you store the electricity and you use it. So can we integrate that using the artificial intelligence and link it to the main grid? The answer is yes. Secondly, this morning I was talking about the building design in America, okay, with my friend over there. Now we are into the era where smart buildings are being made, which are energy efficient. They also capture the carbon using the concrete which they are made of, and the passive design principle reducing the embodied carbon. रोज जेव्हा गाड्या चालतात, आत्ता एका तासापूर्वी टीव्हीवर बातमी आली होती, 19 लाख 2 व्हीलर आणि 4,32,000 4 व्हीलर मागच्या महिन्यात विकले गेले. मी म्हंटल बाबा, एवढ्या गाड्यांना पेट्रोल लागणार, रस्ते लागणार, पार्किंग लागणार, आणि ते CO2 एमिट करणार. मग हा जो CO2 आहे तो ट्रॅप होतो ऍटमॉस्फिअर मध्ये, आपण त्याला ग्रीन हाऊस इफेक्ट म्हणतो, आणि मग तो क्लायमेट चेंजचा एक कॉन्ट्रीब्युटर बनतो. तुम्ही असं कॉन्क्रीट शोधा जे कार्बन ऍब्झॉर्ब करेल, त्यांनी घर बांधा, जेणेकरून वातावरणातला कार्बन, कारण आपण आता झाडं कापतो आहोत, नाशिकला सुद्धा ते झाडं कापून राहिलेत साहेब, राईट? तर झाडं इज वन ऑफ दी एलिमेंट ऑफ ॲब्झॉर्बिंग CO2. But if you are urbanizing consistently, then the building itself should able to absorb. म्हणजे लंडनमध्ये त्यांनी एक बिल्डिंग बनवली. गंमत बघा, आता मुंबईचेही फोटो लोक दाखवतात, काय तुमचे ग्लास पॅनल लागलेल्या बिल्डिंगा. आर दे सस्टेनेबल? Answer is no. कारण इट रिफ्लेक्ट्स द लाईट अँड क्रिएट्स मोर प्रॉब्लेम. सो इन लंडन त्यांनी ग्लास पॅनलच्या आधी सोलार सेल लावून दिले बिल्डिंगच्या 2 बाजूला, म्हणजे ईस्ट आणि वेस्ट. मग सकाळी ईस्ट कडनं तो पॉवर जनरेट करेल आणि 12 वाजल्यानंतर वेस्ट कडनं ती बिल्डिंग पॉवर जनरेट करेल, जितकी त्याची हाईट आहे, जिथे ऑब्स्ट्रक्शन नाही आहे. सो दॅट बिल्डिंग बिकेम स्मार्ट बिकॉज इट जनरेट पॉवर फॉर द लिफ्ट अँड कॉमन फॅसिलिटी. ओके, अँड ऑल्सो वी हॅव टू मेक यूज ऑफ लो कार्बन मटेरियल. जे लोक सिव्हिलचे आहे, मेटलर्जीचे लोक आहेत, मेकॅनिकलचे आहेत, काइंडली कीप इन माइंड दिस इज अ फ्युचर. देन दी सर्क्युलर इकॉनॉमी. साहेब, आता जग कसं आलेलं आहे, यूज अँड थ्रो. ते वडील, आई वडील म्हातारे झाले की त्यांना तुम्ही काय ते वृद्धाश्रमात पाठवून देता. आपले ते संस्कार नाही. तुम्ही ते जोशी साहेबांचं लेक्चर ऐकलं ना, ते कर्मा वगैरेचे फळ. यूज अँड थ्रो इकॉनॉमी पासून दूर जा. लोक कपडे घेऊन फेकून देतात. आता असे प्रॉडक्ट बघा, असे डिझाईन करा विच कॅन बी रियूज अँड रिपेअर. ओके, ठीक आहे. आता युरोपमध्ये स्पेशली ज्या नॉर्डिक कंट्री आहे, डेन्मार्क, स्वीडन, फिनलंड, ते याच्यावर खूप भर देत आहेत की आम्ही नवीन घेणार नाही, आम्ही त्याला परत वापरून रिपेअर करू. त्याच्यामुळे तुमचं वेस्ट कमी होईल. आज लोक कपडे फेकतात, स्वेटर फेकतात, जुने ब्लँकेट फेकतात. ते कल्चर आपल्याकडे आलेलं आहे. ट्राय टू मेक शुअर की तुम्ही किती सर्क्युलर इकॉनॉमी तुमच्या डे टू डे लाईफमध्ये आणू शकता. दोज आर अगेन चॅलेंजेस फॉर इनोव्हेशन. मग जे मला त्याच्याबद्दल प्रचंड तीव्रता आहे मनामध्ये, कार्बन कॅप्चर. मी काही याच्यावर एक्सपर्ट नाहीये, बट दिस इज अ चॅलेंज. हाऊ कॅन वी कॅप्चर द कार्बन? Okay, if you go and search on Google, you will find n number of technologies. Okay, but the some European countries are now capturing over 50 million tons of CO2 annually with 700 projects in development. Okay, especially the power plants which are running 24/7, and then green hydrogen which I mentioned you. मला सांगा, हायड्रोजन कशा बनतो?
Splitting the water molecule into O2 and half.
त्या प्रोसेसला काय म्हणतात बेटा? Your answer is correct. What that process is known?
Actually, I don't know the name of the process.
Okay, that process is electrolysis. Okay. By doing electrolysis, we split the 2 hydrogen molecule which is attached to 1 oxygen molecule, right? So that way, आता याच्यात गंमत काय येते, इथे वीज वापरावी लागते. आता ग्रीन मध्ये त्यांनी काय म्हटलंय की तुम्ही सोलर एनर्जी किंवा रिन्युएबल एनर्जी वापरून हायड्रोजन बनवा. सो इट विल बिकम अ ग्रीन हायड्रोजन. इंडियामध्ये बऱ्याच घोषणा केल्या होत्या अदानी अंबानीनी. आय डोंट नो, अमोनियाच्या सुद्धा होता आणि हायड्रोजनच्या सुद्धा होता. बट on a larger scale, if you apply the electricity for electrolysis, it will be expensive because we don't have oil and gas. We generating 60% of power from the coal, which is harmful to environment. So green hydrogen is another challenge. बायोटेक्नोलॉजी में बहुत सारे इनोवेशन हो रहे हैं. ओके, नाउ AI डिजाइन बायोलॉजिक्स. ओके, सो व्हाट इज हैपनिंग, आई विल कम टू दैट पार्ट बिकॉज आई वॉज एक यूनिवर्सिटी में मैंने, ऑल्दो ये मेरा सब्जेक्ट नहीं है, बट उन्होंने मुझे बुलाया लेक्चर के लिए, रिसर्च के लेक्चर के लिए, बट आई गेव देम सम एग्जांपल एंड देन आफ्टर डिस्कसिंग विद स्टूडेंट I became thoroughly impressed with this area because it affects our lives directly. Okay, so AI design biology, what it will do? AI design antibody. Okay, अभी ये जो एंटीबॉडी बनी, वैक्सीन क्या है? बेसिकली एंटीबॉडी है कि आपके ऊपर वायरस ना आवे और आपको बीमार ना करे, वो उससे फाइट करेगी। अभी उससे क्या होगा, ये वैक्सीन डेवलपमेंट या एंटीबॉडी डेवलपमेंट का साइकिल छोटा हो जाएगा और जो थेरेप्यूटिक स्पेसिफिटी है उसको एनहांस किया जाएगा। ओके, सेकंड, नेक्स्ट जनरेशन ऑफ जीन एडिटिंग, so it will be AI design CRISPR where the system will expand the targetability with the reduce of target effect for precision genetic medicine. सोप्या भाषेत मी तुम्हाला सांगतो, आपण जेनेटिकली प्रत्येक जण वेगळे आहोत. जर आपल्याला ताप आला तर आपण 100 लोकांनी क्रोसिन खाल्ली तर 100 लोकांवर त्या क्रोसिनचा परिणाम वेगवेगळा होतो. काही लोक 2 तासात बरे होतात, काही लोक 2 दिवसात बरे होतात. नाउ विथ द AI you will get medicine for your gene. It will be designed for you. ते औषध फक्त तुमच्यासाठी बनवलं जाईल. तुम्ही बघता ना, जेव्हा डॉक्टरांकडे जातात ते तुम्हाला औषध देतात, म्हणतात साहेब लागलं नाही तर 3 दिवसांनी परत या, औषध बदलून देईल. AI will change that game forever. It will be expensive in the beginning, but 20, 30, 40 years down the road, असं तुम्ही जसं आता ब्लिंकिट आणि झोमॅटो करता ना, तसं तुम्ही फोन करून तुमचं औषध मागवू शकता तुमच्या जीनसाठी. दिस इज ॲडव्हान्स मॅन्युफॅक्चरिंग. ओके, नाउ फॅक्टरी विल बिकम स्मार्ट. हाऊ? इट विल बी अ रिअल टाइम डेटा इंटिग्रेशन. यू गो टू, तुम्ही सगळे पुण्याचे लोक आहेत, चाकणला जा. Chakan is a hub for Volkswagen, Skoda. Okay, there are also companies. You go to old पिंपरी चिंचवड जिथे टाटा मोटर होतं, त्याला टेल्को म्हणायचे जुन्या काळी, टाटा इलेक्ट्रिक अँड लोकोमोटिव्ह कंपनी काय जे नाव होतं. सो इट वॉज अ हब. सो बेसिकली व्हेंडर्स वेअर क्लोज टू द फॅक्टरी अँड मग मटेरियल कमीत कमी वेळात जायचे. जॅपनीज पीपल डिस्कवर्ड जस्ट इन टाइम मॅन्युफॅक्चरिंग, JIT ज्याला म्हणतात. राईट नाव, along with JIT, along with edge and 5G connectivity, you will have real-time data integration. So तुमचे production floor will become more intelligent, self-optimizing environment. Okay? Then you will have cobot and human-centric 5.0. आता आपण रोबोट म्हणतो. Now robot will collaborate. त्याला collaborative robot म्हणतात. So what it will do, it will enable safer human-machine interaction, productचे ergonomics चांगले होतील, and augmenting worker skill rather than replacing them. जेव्हा 80च्या दशकात रोबोट आलेत अमेरिकेत, इंडस्ट्रीमध्ये, मग नंतर एशियात, जपान, कोरियामध्ये आले, लोक म्हणे की ये अपना जॉब ले लेंगा क्योंकि रोबोट 24 घंटा काम करता है, रिपीटेटिव टास्क करता है. वैसे ही लोगों को भी लगता है AI आने के बाद बेरोजगारी बढ़ेगी. नो नो, इट विल असिस्ट अस. सो सिमिलरली कोबोट विल ऑल्सो ऑग्युमेंट द वर्कर स्किल रादर दॅन रिप्लेसिंग देम. मग येईल ॲडिटिव्ह मॅन्युफॅक्चरिंग. काल मी एक डॉक्युमेंटरी बघितली BBCवर. अमेरिकेमध्ये स्वस्त घरं 3D प्रिंटिंगनी देत आहेत. मग मला विचार आला की हे प्रधानमंत्री ग्राम योजनामध्ये आपण का नाही देऊ शकत? मग आपल्याकडे प्रॉब्लेम आहे, तो जो ग्रामसेवक आहे, ज्याला मुखिया म्हणतात, तो भ्रष्ट आहे. ती यादीमध्ये भ्रष्टाचार होतो. जर अमेरिकेमध्ये हे होऊ शकतं, आपण का नाही करू शकत? आम्ही ती डॉक्युमेंटरी पूर्ण बघितली. जे घर 100 रुपयात बनतं ते घर 3D प्रिंटिंगनी 30 रुपयात बनतं. मी आता प्रधानमंत्री कार्यालयाला ईमेल लिहिणार आहे की का प्रधानमंत्री आवासमध्ये आपण 3D प्रिंटिंग वापरत नाही. प्रधानमंत्री आवासमध्ये थोडी ताजमहल देतात, ते एखादं लहान घर देतात. ते तर तुम्ही खूप रॅपिडली बांधू शकाल. राईट? सो 3D प्रिंटिंग टेक्नॉलॉजी. आता दात, ऑर्गॅन वगैरे सगळे 3D होणार आहे बरं का. म्हणजे मला एक डॉक्टर सांगत होते की आपण जे आता ट्रान्सप्लांट वगैरे करतो ना, किडनी, हार्ट वगैरे, वो बोले सर कुछ साल बाद ऐसा मटेरियल आएगा या जैसे जाके दुकान में से कोई चीज खरीदते ना, वैसे अपना हार्ट खरीद लेना, अस्पताल में जाके चिपका देना उसको, जाके आप चालू. आय वॉज शॉक. पण ते म्हणे त्याच्याकरता मटेरियल लागेल. बनवता आपण शकतो त्याला, मटेरियल ते लागेल जे आपल्या बॉडीमध्ये राहिलं पाहिजे. तो ॲडव्हान्स देन सस्टेनेबल ऑपरेशन्स. प्रत्येक गोष्टीमध्ये एनर्जी ऑप्टिमायझेशन झालं पाहिजे, ग्रीन मटेरियल इंटिग्रेशन झालं पाहिजे, वेस्ट मिनिमायझेशन प्रॅक्टिस झाल्या पाहिजे अँड अल्टिमेटली कार्बन कमी झाला पाहिजे. दॅट्स ऑल. So with all these things, the advanced manufacturing using research and development should able to reduce the carbon footprint. Now I am working with some of the MNCs in India and they are working on that. How carbon शॅम्पूचे साशे विकतात. चला मी नावही सांगतो, हिंदुस्तान युनिलिव्हर, सो दॅट सनसिल्क क्लिनिक शैम्पू के साशे. लोग क्या करते हैं, वो नहाने के बाद साशे को त्या बाथरूमच्या एक्झिट मध्ये फेकून देतात, नाही तर मग ते रस्त्यावर फेकतात. सो दॅट क्लॉग दॅट कॉन्ट्रीब्युट्स टू दी congestion of our drainage lines आणि ते नॉन रिसायकल आहे. नाउ दे आर थिंकिंग अबाउट कॅन वी यूज अ रिसायकलेबल मटेरियल. पण प्रॉब्लेम आहे साहेब, ते मटेरियल येतो 5 रुपयाचं, मग त्यात 1 रुपयाचा शॅम्पू टाकला तर ते तुम्हाला 10 रुपयात विकावं लागेल. मग ते गरीब लोक 1 आणि 2 रुपयाची विकत घेणार, 10चं घेणार का? ते फक्त नाही. So in India, we have challenges not for rich people, but for poor people. Majority of the FMCG companies are targeting to the rural people. जे 64% आपल्या देशाची नागरिक आहेत, त्यांच्यासाठी हे प्रॉडक्ट आहेत. अर्बन मध्ये तुम्ही काही घेऊ शकता, राईट, बिकॉज यू आर नॉट प्राइस सेन्सिटिव्ह, बट रुरल मार्केट इज प्राइस सेन्सिटिव्ह. त्यांना लहान क्वांटिटीमध्ये, आता बघा नेसकॅफेची 2 रुपयाची ती पुडी मिळते, ती टाकली की 1 कप कॉफी बनते. Why this is happening? Because of inability to have the purchasing power, but it contributes to the environmental decay in a long term. हे तुम्हाला जे रस्त्यावर पुणे नागपूरमध्ये घाण दिसते ना, ते लोक चहा पितात आणि तो कप फेकून देतात. ऍक्च्युअली 1 एप्रिल पासून महाराष्ट्र बॅन होणार आहे. मुख्यमंत्री काय करतात मला माहित नाही. तुम्ही त्या कागदातल्या कपातनं जेव्हा पिता ना, त्याच्या इनर लेअर मध्ये एक प्लास्टिक असतं, दॅट कॅन कॉज यू कॅन्सर. हे लक्षात ठेवा. आजच्या नंतर चहा फक्त काचेच्या ह्याच्यात प्या. ओके, अगेन दॅट पेपर, इट इज नॉट ओरिजिनल पेपर, देयर इज अ प्लास्टिक अँड अल्युमिनियम इन इट अँड इट टेक्स लॉंग टाइम टू डिग्रेड. अँड देन लास्ट कन्सेप्ट इज, आज तुम्ही जे बिझनेस मॉडेल आहे, सो यू आर गिव्हिंग प्रॉडक्ट ॲज ए सर्व्हिस. MG ची तुम्ही कार बघा, इलेक्ट्रिक, ते काय म्हणतात, साहेब आमच्याकडनं बॅटरी तुम्ही सर्व्हिस म्हणून घ्या, आम्हाला 3 रुपये 17 पैसे पर किलोमीटर द्या, कार तुमची बॅटरी आमची. हा एक ऑप्शन आहे, राईट. ही हिरोची जी विडा आली आहे, ते काय म्हणतात, साहेब आमचे बॅटरी जे चार्जिंग पॉइंट आहे, तुम्ही तुमच्या घरी चार्ज करा, नाही तर त्याच्यातून टाका, चार्ज केलेली बॅटरी तुमच्या स्कूटरमध्ये टाका. ओव्हर दी पिरियड this product cycle will come. So product as a service, right? This will be MS. आता हे जे मी तुम्हाला सांगितलं, गाडीमध्ये ॲडास आलेलं आहे, शेअर्ड मोबिलिटी मॉडेल आलेले आहेत, हेल्थ केअर मध्ये AI पॉवर्ड डायग्नोस्टिक. साहेब आज तुम्ही जाता, तो डॉक्टर आणि ते पॅथॉलॉजी वाल्यांचं सेटिंग झालं असतं. वो बोलता है वो ब्लड टेस्ट कर ले, आप अपना खून दे देते, आपको मालूम है कि वो सही में क्या कर रहा है. आप बोलते कोलेस्ट्रॉल बढ़ गया, ये बढ़ गया, तुम्हाला हो म्हणावं लागतं, बिकॉज यू डोंट नो हाऊ दे हॅव डन. नेक्स्ट विल बी AI पॉवर्ड डायग्नोस्टिक्स. तुम्हाला तिथल्या तिथे पॅथॉलॉजीचे रिपोर्ट मिळणार. ते संध्याकाळपर्यंत वाट वगैरे पाहायची सगळी गरज संपणार आहे पुढच्या 5 वर्षात. ऑलरेडी इन इंडिया वी आर युझिंग रोबोटिक्स इन सर्जरी, नॉट ओनली फॉर रिमोट लोकेशन बट फॉर इन सिटू ऑपरेशन. टेलिमेडिसिन हो रहा है अँड वेअरेबल हेल्थ टेक, तुम्ही ते घड्याळं, रिस्टबँड वगैरे अनेक प्रकार आले आहेत, ते तुमचं हेल्थ मॉनिटर करतं. आता एरोस्पेस मध्ये जगातली सगळ्यात जास्ती पोल्युटिंग इंडस्ट्री इज एव्हिएशन इंडस्ट्री, हायली पोल्युशन, फॉलोड बाय ऑटोमोबाईल, फॉलोड बाय पॉवर. नाव द एव्हिएशन इंडस्ट्री इज लुकिंग ॲट हायड्रोजन प्रपोल्शन, advanced material for lightweight structure, okay, and cyber security for avionics. आता बघा 2-3 आठवड्यापूर्वी काहीतरी दिल्लीमध्ये काय तो शब्द आहे, म्हणजे तो अटॅक नव्हता, ती जी एअर ट्रॅफिक मॅनेजमेंट सिस्टम होती ना ती कॉम्प्रोमाइज झाली. सो पीपल कुड नॉट अंडरस्टँड क्या हो रहा है. तर ते सगळं ट्रॅफिक वरचं डिस्टर्ब झालं होतं. आता विमानामध्ये जे एव्हिओनिक्स असतं, म्हणजे जे तुमच्या ग्राउंड रडारशी बोलत असतं, एअर ट्रॅफिक कंट्रोलरशी बोलत असतो, दॅट कॅन बी हॅक्ड. मध्ये अशा थेरी चालू होत्या की जे मोठं विमान असतं, जे 40,000 फुटावरून जातं 15-16 तास, एलियननी ती हॅक केली. हे जे MH47 काय जे मलेशियाचं विमान सापडलं नाही सापडलं, अशा थेरी बऱ्याच आल्या. सो नाऊ एव्हिओनिक्स इज क्रुशियल अँड सायबर सिक्युरिटी इज रिक्वायर्ड फॉर दॅट. Civil engineering focus on the smart city infrastructure, zero energy building, and using robotics and 3D printing in construction for durability. Okay. Then internets of twin, म्हणजे सायबर वर्ल्ड अँड फिजिकल वर्ल्ड याच्या मधला भाग. ओके. सो बेसिकली इट इज अ डिझाईन बिल्ड ऑपरेट मॉडेल फॉर इम्प्रूव्हिंग decision making across entire asset life cycle, creating continuous digital thread from engineering to operation. Then predictive operation. Okay. Once the operations are being implemented, then you use IoT telemetry that feed real-time health monitoring scenario testing, enabling proactive maintenance and optimized performance. एनर्जी फॅसिलिटी, सेक्टर बेट, अडॉप्शन सिग्नल, हे सगळं इंटरव्ह्यू झालंय. म्हणजे जनरल मोटरनी एक कार बनवली आहे. कारला सगळं कळतं तुमच्या लाईफ मध्ये काय चालू आहे. तर तुम्हाला बँकेत EMI भरायचा असेल आणि तुम्ही जर ऑटो डेबिट बँक अकाउंटला केलं नसेल, तर ती कार एक दिवस आधी सांगतं की रॉबर्ट, टुमॉरो यू हॅव टू गो टू बँक टू पे द EMI ऑफ युअर हाऊस. एनिथिंग दॅट यू हॅव टू गो फॉर शॉपिंग. स्वीडनमध्ये एक फ्रीज बनवलं इलेक्ट्रोलक्स कंपनीनी. ते डेटा अनालाइज करतं एका परिवाराचा. दे टूक द डेटा ऑफ 1 इयर, की 1 वर्षात तो परिवार कसा राहतो. आणि मग त्याला कळलं की इथे ॲव्हरेज 3 लिटर दूध असतं, 2 किलो मासे असतात, 1 किलो चिकन, व्हॉट एव्हर इट मे बी. आणि आता ते काय करताय, नाऊ इट इज वर्किंग. समजा त्याच्यातलं 1 लिटर दूध कमी झालं, तर ते फ्रीज ऑटोमॅटिकली जे काही सुपर मार्केट आहे त्याला सांगतं आणि ते ऑटोमॅटिक डिलिव्हरी करतात, पैसे बँकेतनं कापले जातात. म्हणजे आता जी घरातली बाई आणि पुरुष आहे, दे डोंट हॅव टू वरी अबाउट इन्व्हेंटरी इन द फ्रीज. दॅट डिझाईन, दॅट ऑटोमेशन विल टेक केअर की तुमच्या फ्रीजमध्ये तेवढी मिनिमम क्वांटिटी ही राहणार म्हणजे राहणार. सो IoT विल बिकम an inevitable part of our life in years to come. Then robotics and autonomous system. आता टेस्लावाल्यांची कार ऑटोमॅटिक चालते. चायनामध्ये तर चायना इज अहेड ऑफ अस, मच अहेड ऑफ अस. दे हॅव कमर्शियलाइज द ऑटोनॉमस टॅक्सीज इन बीजिंग अँड शांघाय. आपल्याकडे अजून ही वेळ आलेली नाही. नाउ व्हॉट AI हॅज डन, बेसिकली AI has enabled the autonomy. So what it has done, it has carried out a evolution from scripted automation to adaptive learning system capable of responding to changing environment. म्हणजे अचानक पाऊस आला तर वायपर चालू होणार, ते तो सेन्सर करेल. ती गाडी ऑटोमॅटिक हळू होणार, बर्फ आला तर अजून होणार. सो व्हॉट एव्हर हॅपन्स, चेंजेस इन सर्कमस्टान्सेस, विदाउट ह्युमन इंटरफेस ते काम होणार. आता हे मी कारचं उदाहरण दिलं. नाउ टेक इट बॅक टू दी फॅक्टरी. सो सम पॉवर आउटेज happens or some manufacturing line gets shut down, the system will automatically respond to that particular situation. Then cobot and AMR. So human robot collaboration and flexible intra-logistics in factories and warehouse will improve safety feature and intuitive programming interfaces, because logistics is a bigger part. Field robotics. So for inspection, construction, agriculture, energy asset management, and wherever there are challenges. म्हणजे आता मी बघतोय विदर्भामध्ये आमच्या ड्रोननी फवारणी होते शेतीवर. सो ड्रोन स्वस्त झाले आहेत, ड्रोन भाड्याने मिळतात. ती फवारणी केल्यावर तुमचं वेस्टेज कमी होतं अँड मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टंटली द फार्मर डू नॉट गेट intoxicated by the crop, whatever pesticide or insecticide he is putting on the crop, right? So there'll be lot of use of automation, not only from the classroom but all the way to the factories. Because I tell, say, आज से 20 साल बाद I will not be talking. Probably they would record something in my, मेरा कोई एक चेहरा बना के वो ऑटोमेटिकली वो लेक्चर चलाया जाएगा विदाउट माय ओन इंटरेक्शन. Okay, then safety and governance. Okay, so advanced safety protocol, simulation at a scale for validation, and then comprehensive test coverage framework to test, ensure, and reliability. Okay, because be it a machine, be it automotive, be it any equipment, safety has to be of paramount importance. And deployment trends, rapid transition from experimental pilot to practical deployment across industry, with more than half of robotic engineers predicting high level of adaptive autonomy within 5 years. So by 2030, okay, we will have lot of high level adaptive autonomy in the industry that are using the robot at present. This is my favorite also. Quant computing. Now, today, even for civil, mechanical, electrical, there are n number of applications available on the various platforms. Okay, but when we integrate AI, then you will have a next generation of engineering application. So let's look at this diagram first. Okay, so classical pre-processing. Okay, then you go with the data preparation and classical post-processing. That leads to the engineering solution. Okay, now here you add, instead of data preparation, you add quantum algorithm, then hybrid optimizer, then quantum simulation, then of course you can go to classical processing or you get the engineering. So basically we are adding this purple, algorithm and simulation, in our engineering solution. Okay, so it can be, for near-term value, the quantum-inspired and hybrid algorithm offer immediate benefit for complex optimization problem and machine learning tasks without requiring full quantum hardware. So when we are talking about computing, you need software and hardware. But in near term, at least you can do this thing without making the use of full quantum hardware. Secondly, for material and chemistry, the molecular simulation and catalyst discovery show a promising acceleration with quantum approaches, enabling more accurate modeling of quantum phenomena in material engineering. See, like I had a chemical engineering friend from UDCT Mumbai. वो हमेशा मुझे बोलता था दुनिया पूरी केमिकल से बनी है. यू लुक एट अर्थ, यू लुक एट स्पेस, यू लुक एट गैलेक्सी, गैस ही गैस है. So they were very proud. Again, you look at any material that's surrounding you, it composes of molecules. Okay, so materials are very important part in our manufacturing process, and material engineering becomes even more important. So these emerging applications, the simulation that we are carrying out today can be carried out using AI and quantum computing. Then inventory cryptographic dependence. So plan mitigations to standardize post-quantum cryptography scheme and prepare the quantum threat to the traditional encryption. Okay. Now, when we are talking about the PQC readiness, okay, even today we are still below the halfway mile. Okay. Now, every engineer, they have to have an inventory, they must have the inventory of cryptographic dependencies and should have a plan for, mitigating that post-quantum cryptographic schemes. Now, this quantum computing will help them in a less than half a period of time with which they are dealing today. And lastly, but most importantly, implementation of roadmap. Okay. Now, with this comes the cloud, because Amazon, Google, Microsoft, they are all using cloud. कुछ दिनों बाद हम लोग भी विंडो मतलब माइक्रोसॉफ्ट वाले बोलते हैं, they will only sell hardware. They will not give window and office. It will be in the cloud, paid by you. जितना यूज करोगे उतना पे करो. So cloud provider will have access to the quantum resources, benchmark against classical baseline, and identify specific engineering problem with potential quantum advantage. So imagine, अमेरिका में एक प्रॉब्लम हुआ, वो प्रॉब्लम का सॉल्यूशन क्लाउड में है, एंड यू आर ऑन द सेम क्लाउड provider from the America, and you also faces the problem. So your system will immediately know that what has happened in America or in Europe, and you will able to mitigate it, and vice versa. Okay, so it will benefit. See, if I keep everything in my hardware, I only know my problem. But if it goes to cloud or common platform, there's an option to share the problem, right? So that is one thing. And then in India, you see here, we have spent $95 billion. Israel spent 24 billion, EU spent 420 billion, and America spent $760 billion. Okay, so world R&D was around $2.7 trillion, जिसमें चाइना, यूरोपियन यूनियन, साउथ कोरिया, इजराइल एंड इंडिया थे. किसके ऊपर हुआ ये? AI, machine learning, infrastructure, advanced semiconductor, clean energy, technology, space commercialization, and biotech. What are the ecosystem? Growing public-private partnership, regional innovation hub, increased talent mobility between academia and industry. And then faster diffusion from lab to industry application, intensified competition paired with unprecedented cross-border collaboration. Now, you as an institute, you are in Pune, so probably tell to your directors that you should have a close association with industry in whichever field. You can't go with every field. Whichever field your institute is good at it, you must have a partnership. That way the industry benefit and the institute also benefit, because lot of things are coming up. So now, अभी 2 मिनट बचे, मैं आपको बताता हूँ what are the future opportunities. Okay, first, AI fluency for engineer. Okay, so AI and ML efficiency for R&D, it is critical. Operation is important. आणि हे काय रे, इथे माझं नाव येतंय, थांबा, मला माझं नाव हटवू द्या. For IT OT, it is critical. For compliance, it is basic. Digital thread and twin. Again, it is critical for R&D and operation, but for other, it is important. Mechatronics and control for R&D and operation is critical. Okay, for other, you just need a basic knowledge. Sustainability and LCA, it is important for R&D and operation, basic for IT and OT. For compliance, it is critical. Most important is cyber security. It is important for R&D and operation, but extremely critical for IoT, IT and OT and the compliance team. Okay, so what has happened? Hang हो गया क्या? ही स्लाइड दिसते का तुम्हाला?
हो सर दिसते.
हे हँग का झालं? थांबा 1 मिनिट. I think, okay, sorry. Okay, so that was the last slide. आणि आता वाजले 2 मिनिटं आहेत. So sorry, I have to run a little bit fast because last time, we exceeded 15 minutes more and the other lecturer was waiting for me. So if you have any question, please feel free to ask. So I gave you a brief idea about what is happening in the world and where you as a student should explore yourself and get some skills, so that some of you might be able to go into R&D field and enjoy the exciting future that is coming, especially in the field of engineering and technology. विचारा रे, काही प्रश्न असतील तर लाजू नका.
सर क्वांटम कॉम्प्युटिंग बद्दल तुम्ही जे बोललात तर ते मेकॅनिकल इंडस्ट्रीला कसं कोरिलेट होऊ शकतं ही?
What happens in a can I say mechanical with manufacturing?
Yeah, sure, sir. No issue.
So say you are manufacturing 10,000 product per day. And then at the end of day, you are doing the quality control, and quality control मध्ये त्यांना कळतं आहे की 10,000 प्रोडक्ट पैकी से फॉर एक्झाम्पल 70 प्रोडक्ट अनएक्सेप्टेबल होत आहेत किंवा रिजेक्ट होत आहेत. So you gather this data. Now you have the historical data. Now what you do, you find out at which place these products are getting rejected, on which parameter, whether it is a application, whether it is a material, whether it is a finishing or any other parameter. Once you define that, again you gather the data and then you program your operation in such a way that that error can be mitigated or minimized. Okay, it cannot be eliminated 100%. Now, over the period, the information that company has, okay, that can be fed into, I am here talking about a multinational company that is running across the world, okay, and then you share it and then you run on quantum computing to see, okay, for a SME or a small workshop, quantum computing is not the affordable option, but for those who are linked or interlinked, तुमचे सप्लायर आहेत, तुमचे कस्टमर आहेत, वेगवेगळ्या लोकेशनवर फॅक्टरीज आहेत, there the quantum computing is of immense help in, of course, running the data and analyzing the situation.
Okay.
Because
आणि
today we are working in silos. आज काय होतं, समजा फॉर एक्झाम्पल मी फोक्स वॅगनच्या इंडियाच्या प्लांटमध्ये गेलो तर ते सायलो आहे, त्यांना इंडियाचे प्रॉब्लेम आहेत, ते म्हणतात सर इंडिया का कस्टमर को सस्ता माल चाहिए, तो हमारे कार में सस्ते चीजें लगाते, यहाँ के रस्ते खराब है तो प्रोडक्ट टूट जाता है. पण तेच तुम्ही फोक्स वॅगनच्या जर्मनीच्या प्लांटमध्ये जाल तर दे मेक अकॉर्डिंग टू द जर्मन और युरोपियन स्टँडर्ड. सो जिओग्राफिकली द प्रॉडक्ट इज ऑलवेज कस्टमर सेंट्रिक. म्हणजे मी तुम्हाला उदाहरण सांगतो, मेड इन इंडिया बीएमडब्ल्यू पाहिली आणि ऍट द सेम टाइम माझ्या मित्रांनी जर्मनीवरनं सीबीयू बीएमडब्ल्यू इम्पोर्ट केली आणि आम्ही त्याला कम्पेअर केलं साईड बाय साईड. जर्मन बीएमडब्ल्यू वॉज टॉप नॉच, पण तिची किंमत भारतातल्या पेक्षा एक तर 100% ड्युटी, म्हणजे ती 100% महाग झाली, प्लस 30% अजून, म्हणजे 130% ती महाग होती. आणि फॉर्च्युनेटली ही गाडी जास्त चालली जर्मनीची, ही तेवढी नाही चालली कारण इकडचे लोक जास्ती पैसे देत नाही. सो द क्वालिटी स्टँडर्ड मे डिफर फ्रॉम प्रोडक्ट मार्केट और कंट्री मार्केट टू कंट्री मार्केट. तुम्हाला सेम क्वालिटी मिळत नाही, राईट. इवन यू गो टू मॅकडोनल्डची चव जगभरात वेगवेगळी असते, कारण मी खाल्ले आहेत, मी 74 देश फिरलो आहेत, प्रत्येक देशात मॅकडोनल्डची टेस्ट वेगळी आहे, बट स्टँडर्ड इज अ सेम. सो when we are doing globalization and decentralized manufacturing and export hub, हे सगळं पुढे क्वांटम कम्प्युटिंग मध्ये येणार आहे.
ओके. मग याच्यामध्ये जर पूर्ण डेटा जर ऑनलाईन मध्ये जात असेल तर सर सायबर सिक्युरिटीचा पण कन्सर्न मेजर असू शकतो.
इट विल बी अ मेजर थ्रेट. बघा साहेब, आता मध्ये खबर आली होती जी केंद्र सरकारने ऍक्सेप्ट नाही केली, 80 करोड लोकांचा आधार डेटा कॉम्प्रोमाइज झाला आपल्या देशात, राईट. आता इथे आपण 140 करोडचा देश आहे, 80 लोकांचा डेटा काय गेला असेल, आपला फोटो, आपलं नाव, डेट ऑफ बर्थ, आधार नंबर, पत्ता आणि पिनकोड, हे
इम्प्रेशन आयचे पण त्या सगळ्या गोष्टी आहेत ना,
बायोमेट्रिक तुमचे, ते गेले. आता हा एवढाच डेटा आहे, याला मल्टीप्लाइड बाय आपण याला 100 करोड करून टाकू. पण नाऊ इन क्वांटम कम्प्युटिंग मध्ये टू द पॉवर एन डेटा राहणार आहे. म्हणून तुम्ही बघा, या ज्या नवीन चिप्स येत आहेत ना, खूप कॉम्प्लेक्स चिप्स आहेत, इतका डेटा राहील त्याच्यामध्ये, डेटा करप्ट होणं, डेटा माल फंक्शन होणं, डेटा कॉम्प्रोमाइज होणं आणि डेटा चोरी होणं. आता बघा, मला तुमच्याशी खेळ करायचा आहे, मी काय करेल, मी व्हायरस टाकेल तुमच्या डेटात, तुमचा डेटा करप्ट करेल मी. मला तुमच्या डेटाला हॅक करण्यात काही इंटरेस्ट नाहीये, कारण तुमचा डेटा माझ्या महत्वाचा नाहीये. इट इज ऑफ नो कमर्शियल यूज टू मी, बट आय वॉन्टेड टू डिस्टर्ब यू, सो ते वॉरफेअर होईल. मी व्हायरस सोडला, तुमचं सिस्टम हँग केलं. हा, पण तुमच्याकडे क्रेडिट कार्डचा डेटा आहे, इन्कमचा डेटा आहे. जो चोरांना हवा असतो डेटा, तो चोरी केला जातो. ज्या डेटाची चोरी करण्यात अर्थ नाही ना, त्याच्यात व्हायरस करून तो करप्ट करायचा. सो यू आर राईट, दॅट विल बी दी नेक्स्ट लेवल थ्रेट ऑफ सायबर सिक्युरिटी.
ओके, थँक्यू सर.
थँक्यू. आहेत अजून काही प्रश्न? गुड. सो नसेल तर सर कन्क्लूड करा. ते गेलेत का सर?
या सर, मी करते.
ओके.
Thank you so much for your valuable inputs on this session, and we look forward for next sections also.
Thank you. Thank you very
Thank you,
much
sir.
for listening. Yeah,
Yes,
and
sir.
thank you to Mohammad Atiq sir and SGBAU.
And
Thank you.
MMCOE.
Yes. मग ते नवीन नाव ना माझ्या लक्षात आहे. काय ते मदन मोहन मालवीय ट्रेनिंग
नाही नाही
सेंटर ना?
नाही, मराठवाडा मित्रमंडळ कॉलेज ऑफ इंजिनिअरिंग सर.
अच्छा, ते तुमचं कॉलेज आहे ना पुण्याचं?
हा, आणि हे सगळे फॅकल्टी म्हणजे जे अटेंडीज आहे, पार्टिसिपेंट्स आहेत, ते
हा.
MMCOE मधलेच आहेत.
बरं बरं बरं. आणि हे
100.
विद्यापीठामध्ये जे असतं ते काय मदन मोहन मालवीय ट्रेनिंग
हा हा
सेंटर
हा,
असतं ना?
बरोबर, ते
ओके,
बरोबर आहे.
ओके.
हम्म.
धन्यवाद ऐकल्याबद्दल आणि ऑल दी
थँक्यू सर,
बेस्ट.
थँक्यू. या सर,
थँक्यू
थँक्यू सो
व्हेरी
मच.